Yeah, why don't you live us?
Let me live us up.
I'm living us, yeah.
There we go.
Should I go with a nice cool blue, or should I?
Nice. Moody
I
blue.
could go with I could go with a nice. Well, that's supposed to be green. Doesn't even look green to my own eyes. Nice purple. Ooh, tasteful. That's supposed to be orange. Whatever.
The red looks good.
Red.
Yeah.
I'm low in health.
Yeah.
I'll choose.
Kanan needs food badly.
I do actually.
Must
I didn't
acquire
eat.
mana.
You didn't eat dinner, even though you explicitly said that you were going to eat dinner since we're starting late.
And I was excited to be able to eat dinner before we started. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't eat dinner because I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I got myself a pizza, right? Like an oven pizza.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this would be so much better if I was hungrier after the podcast.
Right.
You know,
I hear where
didn't
you're
have
coming
anything
from,
to do,
yeah.
and I had time to be fat.
That's my plan. I'm
I
gonna
have to
just.
incorporate my fat time.
Well, yeah.
Time to be
I mean, kind of trying to. I've had enough fat time for one lifetime.
What are you talking about?
I've had enough fat time.
I've gotten it all to myself.
Man, I haven't even started my fat time. How much do you
Yeah,
get?
fuck you.
How much are we allotted when we're born?
I'll let you know.
Berries.
Oh, it's based off of your build.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's your character build. I think it's your.
That's like
Your
that's a
character
double
build?
entendre. Yeah,
Constitution.
your character build, but
constitution,
also
yeah.
your like physical build. It was a double entendre, you guys.
You're an
Character
entendre.
build.
It was good.
I was
yeah.
feeling it. I guess I'm gonna go with blue on this screen. I still haven't figured out the best setup with this yet.
Oh, let me. Since we're actually.
No, you look like a fucking hacker. It's great.
Yeah.
That was the
You
plan
do.
all along.
It's your 4K webcam.
Yeah, you look like a black hat. What's that?
There we go. Okay,
Black
I think
Hat
Black
or
Hat
something.
is it.
Is that
there it
Yeah.
is. Look at that. That's
Ooh,
what
that's
Wow,
actually pretty
that's-
nice.
Oh
pretty
wow.
nice.
Wow,
What is
look at it.
that?
Almost kind of goes with your beer that you're drinking.
Yeah.
So you got some. How are you doing this? You got blue on the background, but you got a red face.
Yeah.
Blue-
So
blue
this
background, red
monitor on
face.
my you want to just see the setup? All right, close your eyes for a second. Okay, so check it out. I have I'm trying to like get it to focus. So blue on the back monitor there,
Mhm.
and then on this one, actually half of it is red, and then half of it is black, and so it's like
Oh, he's
just
using a
little
negative
bit.
fill. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Very intentional.
Yeah. Whatever.
Very
yeah,
intentional.
What you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Let me check
now it's
our
like
audio
getting
levels.
more of the reds and less of the blue because I was fucking with it, which is annoying.
Well, I've got my classic
Big quiet.
vomit green.
That's kind of nice.
Vomit
It really
green.
ties
Yeah.
the room
I
Behind
together.
really
me.
liked the vomit
The
green.
entire
Yeah.
wall. Yeah.
Whole wall.
I think it's insane asylum green is what that
A
is.
Sane Asylum green. Yeah.
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 Institutional green.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
institutional
is
green.
this is the stock. This is what came stock with my apartment.
The 19th Street.
Yeah.
19th Street green.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm just
What's the
rolling with
last
it.
little bit of social media thinging.
It's been 4.5 years. I'm not
Wow,
gonna
you've been there
change it
that
now.
long, really?
Yeah.
Plus, it's an apartment. Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really bother me. I'm thinking I could maybe not live here anymore.
It's about that time.
I heard that there's
Could be
been
about
some
that time.
questionable happenings.
Quite. Oh, you
Questionable
mean
happening.
mean-
people firing guns in the street?
Yeah, that.
That's not quest. There's no question.
Yeah.
Oh, I
about
thought you
it.
meant like witchcraft or something.
Yeah, that's some
Ah.
questionable happenings for sure.
No, I mean Johnny or somebody almost getting shot.
What?
Yeah, he was actually out there for one of them.
What?
One of these occasions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That he was so skinny that the bullets went right past him.
Yeah, he did one of those
Missed him.
things where
He
you
just
like,
went like
in
this.
cartoons where he just
He
went
turned
"Whoop."
sideways.
Oh, he like dodges it like a
Yeah. He went
Yeah.
like this with his
And
neck.
he disappeared for a second as he was behind the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're driving by and they're like, damn you, IT nerd.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
We'll
These
get
nerds
you
doing
next time.
drive-bys.
Oh God, no one. Yeah, you guys should definitely move if there was like a follow-up threat.
yeah,
Now you can't
yeah,
be surprised
exactly.
when they come back for for more. So
That's right. That's
now
right.
it's on you. Now it's your fault.
Hey, Danon. I know I say this every time, but it's true every single time. You're always quieter than everybody else.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's not a good plan.
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
Mm.
I think so. Ben's always really, really loud, but that's just Ben, I think. And then you're always
Yeah,
really, really
probably
quiet.
loud.
You need to turn down the
God
gain.
damn
on
it, my
your
internet
voice
connection is
box there.
unstable. It says I don't understand. I'm plugged in.
You're looking a bit spotty there, Dad. You're in.
Yeah,
in and out.
my internet and I'm plugged into the cord thingy, and it's still not great.
I think you
So
just
I
need
don't know
to
what the
move
hell's
to
going on.
Austin. I think that's what's happening.
Probably.
The only solution, really.
Yeah. Everyone knows hard lines just work better in Austin.
That's
true.
true. How do you
Alright,
get out of this
well,
program?
do you want to like? Yeah, you're frozen now. Just leave the call. Like, stop the Zoom call. Come back in. I'll introduce us. Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
Okay.
you
Wow.
go.
All right. He took that to heart real quick. All right. So this is the We Like This podcast. I haven't introduced us in like weeks. I
Really?
realized. Yeah. It's
Have you
been a
not
long
been
time.
introducing
yeah.
us?
I haven't been introducing us, so I'll do that.
Oh, I haven't been making my face. Wow.
I know. I feel remiss for taking that away from you, Ben. Hey, there you go. He's back.
Well, introduce us.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the We Like
Do
This
it.
podcast. What? Now you're interrupting me. Now I'm angry.
No wonder he doesn't introduce you.
All right. Is everything good? Yeah. You look good, Dad. I'm angry. See?
I think I was still in the wire. I was thinking I was still in my wireless, so I turned it off.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So this is the We Like This podcast. We did About Time this week, and I am joined by Doug Waters, myself, Danon Waters, Jeremy Dallas, Daryl Waters, and Ben Nickerson. The whole family's here. There we
Red
go.
Ben,
Red Ben.
And Ben.
Red Ben,
Yeah.
Red Ben, Red Ben, Red Ben.
redben.com. All
Red
right,
Ben
so yeah, we
is
did About
red.
Time. This is actually Brent's suggestion from last week, and then he's not even here. So he
Mhm.
can't
Yeah.
even tell us why he likes
Dine and
this movie.
dash.
Thanks, Brent.
Brent.
Dine and
He's-
dash.
Yeah,
Way to
Brent,
dine
you
and
and
dash,
Dash.
Brent.
Maybe you can call in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
special call in.
He's only right down the street. I could have him come over.
Yeah, doesn't he
Just-
just
Just
have a
go
line
get
connected
him,
to
yeah,
your house?
exactly.
I could. I could be back in like
Just
10
go
minutes.
get him.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
have him
Hey,
delivered.
We need a studio space again. That way we can all be
I
in the same
do
place.
live in a studio.
It's true.
Okay, well, that is an interesting
you
thing.
see
Can we
those
talk about
lights?
that for a second? Why is
Sure.
it called a studio?
Because it's one
Yes.
room and you can people used to use the artists and stuff like that used to use them to paint and stuff.
Oh, so the
Mhm.
etymology
Cre-
really is like musical or not musical, but
Usually.
Like
creative.
artist.
You know, they used to do the loft thing and the studio is they'd
Yeah,
rent
but
a
loft-
small
like,
a small
loft is
open
not as big,
one
right?
room just to go paint and stuff like that.
Lofts could be pretty big though.
Well, I
Unless
guess-
you, yeah, if
yeah.
you're a starving artist in New York, then your loft is huge, according to the movies.
That's
Yeah.
right. What the
Right?
hell is up with that? Does no one understand inflation?
Like this chick's a waitress, but she's somehow can afford this 4,000 square foot loft to do her painting in
In downtown
You know,
Manhattan.
Yeah.
in downtown Manhattan, now with a
Mhm.
view of the skyline. Yeah,
And it's on the top floor.
I
Yeah.
think there's another Rachel McAdams movie where she's like a Mexican restaurant waitress and she still lives in like a beautiful apartment. It's like,
that's just
Like-
that's just
It's rent control.
The entire
She got
movie.
it from her grandma.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
Now that could be more. accurate.
that's
the
the
entire movie
Friends way
should
to
just
do
be
it.
her working like 70 hours a week.
yeah, exactly.
And
right.
doesn't have time for
well,
the
the
main
whole
plot.
thing is
just
they
to
make it
afford the
clear
electric
that
bill.
She wouldn't have
poor.
time for a main plot if she lived there.
yeah.
She gotta work the whole time.
Well,
No
hold on.
one's
In
got-
this movie, she has a curtain on her bedroom, so that's poor. That's poor people stuff.
But she could
Yeah.
have a good job.
Reading
Oh, she
books.
lives in,
Yeah,
she
she-
lives in London. Yeah,
Yeah, she
who
reads
knows if
books
that's
for an
actually
editor,
good.
right?
Yeah, there's no way that flat above that, that charming flat above that vintage
Hunky
store. is-
dory.
Not in
You know,
London.
it's got to be like 3,000 pounds or whatever it is. Pounds of
Holy
silver.
shit,
12
yeah,
stone.
that's-
Pounds.
I mean, if it's walkable from anywhere, it's
Yeah, it's-
definitely at least 2,000 pounds. If you're in
12
London.
And she could
stones.
park her car right outside, so it's
Yeah.
got to be something.
She
I'm
did
listening.
park her car right outside. Man, we're tearing
Quid.
this movie apart already.
So,
Ridiculous.
movie.
so speaking of which, interestingly enough, I have a part from my motorcycle coming from England, and I bought it off eBay, and it's going through the Royal Mail.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
Rachel McAdams is going to
She's
sign
going
it?
to. I hope she delivers it. No, I think Dominic Hoggle is actually working at the post, and he's going to deliver it. No, it's weird though, because so the number that the dude gave me to track it, like normally you can just put that in Google and it'll find something. That didn't work. I had to Google English mail. Not shitting
Royal
you.
Mail.
English
Well, I didn't know
mail.
it was royal, right? He just gave a number,
Oh.
so I put in British mail.
Was the Queen bringing it to you?
Right, a bit. I'm betting on the back of a
Prince
corgi,
Harry.
right? I think
He's
it's
not doing anything else.
Harry Potter's
Exactly,
bringing it on
he's
a
out.
broom.
He's not a prince anymore.
They
There
use
you go,
He's-
boss. Bring it
He's
over
gonna
on a broom.
He's gonna send it by boot. No, so it's really weird though
It's
that
gonna
A
get in the
Mankey
mail
boot.
from an owl.
right.
Right.
But
There
even
you
like with the
go.
shipping, normally it'll tell you like where it's at, it's leaving. Like if you look at FedEx or anything like that, or UPS, it'll tell you that it's here and they're sorting and blah blah. This it's at the international hub. It's things like
Ooh.
that, which is different. And like I said, it's Royal Mail. It's pretty weird.
It's-
So,
They
and I
send
Can
it
you
think,
to
like
the
see it on a
Winchester.
map in the middle of the Atlantic?
I hope it's not on a boat. It would take 5 months.
And it'll be
Oh,
infested
yeah.
with rats.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. So it's at the collection depot, right?
Why is everything in an accent? Where is it now?
It's
Is
not
it in Britain
dispatch.
still?
Hold on.
It's like
It's-
in Montana or something.
not
Collection
dispatched.
Depot.
It's already been
Right.
delivered. It's in Fountain Valley.
Hold on. It's not dispatch. It's dispatched with a D, right? And it's being sent by Parcel Force worldwide.
Parcel.
If they've got their own
Force.
army,
Parcel
deliver
Force.
mail.
Who's throwing it?
Right. So it's dispatch
Picking it.
collection depot hub, which is it right now. In delivery country, that's America. And
What accent was that?
You're like really floating all over
Yeah, he's-
England.
well,
it's
you-
not
I've never
staying
been. I've never
consistent.
been. No, it's like when they say instead of Monica, it's Monaco and things
Mhm.
like that. That
That's
annoys
only
me
certain
really.
regions,
No.
though.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like
Oh, you don't
London.
know regions.
I do,
Certain
right?
regions.
Region.
I will say that Danon has the best like
Regions.
grasp on any English accents
Thank
out of all of
Thank you.
us. I think I can give
let's-
you
Well, we've been
better than
doing
that
it for
accent.
him since before he was born.
Right.
so
Right.
he should.
Well, it's
We
just
used
so-
to play when we were kids. We used to play British ET. So what we do is we put our shirts over our knees and we'd walk down and we walk around like ET, right, with an English accent, and we called it British ET. Now I don't know what the game was, right? Like what was the purpose of being a British ET? But that's what we do.
So you
lot.
would,
No,
you
it-
would like do like an ET thing and then speak with a British accent. That was the whole.
Just no shirt over the knees, British accent, nothing to do with ET.
British ET.
That's nice.
But we called it British ET. So, and I remember when my brother Danny told our mom, "Hey, mom, I can speak 2 languages, English and British." And it was, and what's funny is it was true. So,
True. True story.
British ET.
I was
Yeah,
there
good
when it happened.
Oh God.
And what's funny was Doug was like, like this, and I was agreeing with him. Yeah, me too. I have 2 languages.
Mhm.
Like excited to realize that you spoke 2 languages.
You
'cause
know,
you also
I was
spoke
first
British?
grade. Not much has changed, honestly. I need to get another beer. Speaking of 2 languages.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was debating whether
Uh,
or not to make a drink because I had a Red Bull. So.
Oh wow. Man, you're always
Mm.
drinking coffee super late.
Yeah, man.
That's
I don't
How
have
they
anything
usually
to
do
do
too.
for it. It's just there you go. On
Trying to cut back
that caffeine usage,
on that caffeine consumption.
I'm going all out.
It is hardcore.
well, yeah. Because if you're drinking, look, let me tell you something. If you're drinking Red Bull at 8:30 at night and it's not interfering with your sleep, then you
Oh, yeah, it's
may
I've
need
8:30
to
over
cut
finished
there.
it
back
at 7:30.
on your caffeine
Finished it.
consumption.
Yeah.
At 7:30.
You finished a Red Bull at 7:30.
Yeah, not
Like,
8:30. It's ridiculous.
Can we just say that this is like the
Still
test
pretty-
though? From this point forward, if you're able to drink a Red Bull and finish it at 7:30 and not have
Oh.
any problems going to sleep, that is a sign. Like that is the first red flag on caffeine consumption.
Yes.
That what? What's the problem?
What, that he doesn't have a problem?
Yes. No, it definitely does affect me still, which I'm very glad for. 'cause
Yeah.
That means my coffee consumption isn't too bad. Like I've definitely listened to people and like they'll go through like 2 French presses a day, and I'm like, that's insane.
That is so
That is
much coffee.
insane.
Oh my god.
They're just constantly
Hmm.
drinking coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that bad. I'm
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I know
okay.
Jeremy, you're also pretty coffeeed out these days.
Oh, I'm cracked out on a regular basis. Dude, I started getting the Trenta cold brews.
Oh God.
Damn.
Then I was like,
30 ounces. That's
bruh.
32 ounces of coffee.
Mhm.
I can get light ice, which means
Yep.
more coffee.
Yep.
That is intense.
So I'm strolling in there every day now with the Trenta, or every other day. I'm trying to. It's expensive, okay? It's expensive. I can't
Okay,
do it.
so my brother, our brother Danny, makes a coffee that is so irradiated with caffeine. I mean, so one time we went to this. It's called what the hell is it called? It's this Mad Max themed thing in the desert.
Oh,
it's like
Wasteland Weekend.
Wasteland Weekend.
That one. Mhm.
And so he made this high octane coffee that he makes, and we drank it on the way out there. And I was able to see for 38 miles in the dark. I mean, it was weird. I could feel my hair growing. It wasn't growing, but I could feel it.
You
I
know,
feel
like
like a
super
vampire.
high on
out.
this stuff.
So we got there, and then we started, and we were drinking Bud Platinums, which are 6
Mm.
points.
Oh yeah.
And I was able to consume 90 of them, I think. And I remember there were 2 moons, right? Because my eyes were like this. There was 2 of everything. And I couldn't pass, normally you can just pass out after that many beers, whatever. I was just like,
yeah.
so I just walked out into the desert because the whole thing was like shut down like 2 or 3, 4 in the morning, something like that. And I remember just laying down in the desert, just looking at the 2 moons for a while, but I wasn't like so drunk that I was throwing up or whatever, even though I was that drunk. This coffee somehow, fought the alcoholic beverages.
Mhm.
It was pretty amazing.
what it
so I've
does.
never drank it again. Drank.
Drank.
That's
tested
the
for drink.
appeal of like the Red Bull vodkas.
Yeah, I
That's why
got
people
it.
do that
That is
shit.
true.
Mhm.
Because it will stop you. Your body will naturally say, "Hey, you need to throw up and pass out," and the caffeine will say, "No,
No.
Nah,
No, we're
you
good.
No.
Yeah.
You're just
we're
getting
gonna
started.
we're gonna
Yeah.
keep going."
Exactly.
Throwing up is
There's
weak.
been-
Could do this all night.
There's been a few times where I've gone for those. There's one in particular. I was at a bachelor party, and it was like 3 a.m. at this point, and I remember I walked up to one of the guys who organized it, and I was like, "Should we? Like, is it time? It feels like it's time to go." And he like is like, "Yeah," looks at me after I said that, gets super serious and goes, "We're not going anywhere." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, okay. And so I like
Wow.
turned around, walked directly to the bar, and I was like, "I need Red Bull and vodka. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall asleep in this place if I don't have some kind of fucking energy drink inside of me." They come in handy in a pinch for sure. Didn't see 2 moons that night though.
Mm.
Mm.
That's probably a bad.
Well, you
sign.
weren't in the desert.
Yeah.
You gotta be in the
didn't have
desert.
enough caffeine.
Gotta be in the 2 Moon Desert.
So
So that's
you
a-
were just reliving Star Wars.
And we were- oh, yeah, that's true. And then during outages where I work, Danny and Derek would make, the other brother, outage coffee as we called it. I couldn't even drink it.
Outage
Outage
coffee.
that
So it was
sounds
fun.
gross.
So it was awful. So he was getting at the time, he would go to Fry's right up the street and you get this coffee called
You're getting your coffee from Fry's?
it was called Shock Coffee. Yes, it was
Yeah,
was
it's
coffee at
called
Fry's.
Thermal paste.
Yeah, yeah. So we were drinking thermal paste. No, when you're in the aisle to leave. Remember the aisle to leave and had all
Yeah.
the candy and all that horseshit. Well, there's
Yeah,
this
there was
coffee there called
coffee.
Shock Coffee, and it was like double, quadruple, triple the caffeine. So we get that, and it was one of those big 12 cuppers. You know what I mean? It was one of these old machines,
Yeah.
right? And he put in the filter, and then he put in 5 scoops of regular and 3 scoops of Shock, and make outage coffee. But I tell you what, if you drank that, you were up for 9 months. It was amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So Derek and Danny have really, really high tolerance to caffeine, so they needed something like that to. And I, like I said, I would take one sip like there's no way, because it was absolutely like mud. But they'd be drinking that stuff
So gross.
2-3 cups a day just to maintain those 10, 12-hour days we're working. All I needed was
2,
regular.
3 cups a day of that.
Oh yeah, it was
That's-
crazy.
that's
Fucking
And then it would
nuts.
sit there and bake for a while, and when
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the water evaporates, and it just becomes distilled.
Oh,
Shock
God.
coffee.
And it's
Extra
taste.
strength.
Yeah,
Jeez,
Ugh.
I
Dude,
they
used
get
this
to-
shit-
shock coffee.
I
It's
used to
just a
work-
black and red logo. It looks hardcore.
I used to
It was.
work, 24-hour shifts at Starbucks, like the overnight shifts, and I
That
would
doesn't
like,
sound legal.
I would definitely
Barely.
like slam probably 8 shots of espresso. What I would do is I was drinking Black Eyes, which is like a venti coffee. It's 20 ounces of coffee, and you throw in 2 shots of espresso with it. I would slam one of those at the beginning of my shift, and then take another one at like midnight-ish. And that would get me through it. But even after that, like it was like I would get home and still be able to pass out. So
Yeah.
that was as far as I'd ever gotten, which felt egregious to me. But now I'm realizing like I don't even think that I got started on my coffee addiction.
All right.
No, dude, you haven't had shock coffee.
Yeah. Well, not when
You
you're
haven't
doing
had
the shit
outage
that
coffee.
My dad and uncles do. I mean, they're on their feet constantly at a power plant. You know, we were just
Yeah.
at some shitty
Yeah.
Starbucks in the middle of Santa Ana.
Serving a
Yeah.
bunch of nurses coming in
It's
at,
Mhm.
1 a.m.
Sometimes the only way you can really properly maintain, because there's been outages too where we worked weird hours, like we'd leave at 4 and then come back in at 10 and then work all night. Weird things like that because of certain things were scheduled a weird way. Man, you want to talk about having to do something about that, and that was shot coffee and things like that.
Jeez.
But it don't take much for me. I have a very low tolerance for it even still. I've been drinking coffee since I was 19 years old when I first discovered, this will make you awake,
Mhm.
right? Especially when you're hung over as fuck, right? So, because at first I didn't drink any coffee at all. And then some guy was like, I was like really hurting. He's like, here, drink this. And then I felt a lot better. And I was like, oh, I can now get to the day like this. So,
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what does it. But
mhm.
speaking of getting through the day,
Oh, yeah.
How long have we been going for? 20
Nice.
minutes, and we haven't even
Really?
20
talked about the
Talked about
minutes.
the movie.
And we haven't
Yeah.
talked about the movie.
Alright.
Luckily,
Whatever.
this movie is not super complicated. It's not that there's anything wrong
Not
with
crazy
that.
long either.
Yeah.
But it's
It's like
it's
2
a
hours.
very
Yeah, it's 2
Yeah,
hours.
it's 2 hours.
Pretty
Is it
long
2 hours?
romance
It's long for a
movie.
comedy.
Yeah.
It's long
Yeah.
for a
Yeah, it's
comedy.
pretty long.
would you consider this a
Oh.
comedy? I
It's
feel
a
like this
rom-com.
is.
I
It was like-
chortled so much during this film.
There
Are you
was a
kidding me?
couple chortling
chortling?
moments. I will say
It's
this.
a
chortling.
British rom-com.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
a
It's
sure.
lull.
British
Yeah, it's definitely.
There was some lull moments.
with some feel.
Mhm.
It had a lot more
It had
feel
some
than
feels.
comedy, though.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It's not quite as rom-com as Notting Hill. You know what I mean? Like
That's
with
more
Hugh Grant.
rom-comish because this has the
That's
serious
standard
sad moments.
rom-com.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
Yeah.
rom-com with drum.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some
Rom-com.
I think it was rom-drom with a little bit of com, honestly.
That might be
Uh,
that might be closer. I think it's a com drum with rom.
So now that we've stopped speaking English, I will say there were moments in this movie that were too cringeworthy for me. I don't remember this on the first watching, but like this
What are you
this
talking
second time
about,
around,
Benjamin?
dude, there were definitely, and oh my god, when
There were
he
definitely some
interacts
cringe.
with her for the first time after she forgot him, and he's just like,
Oh, well, you're supposed to
yeah.
cringe. I thought it was
well,
like
I know
yeah.
that you're supposed to cringe,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was
kind of
still
how I took it.
it was still awful to experience.
yeah,
man.
it's
It
so
was like,
awkward.
oh, dude,
Yeah, I wouldn't know
he's
anything
got
about
the
it.
ability to go back in time, and he's like still this awkward of a human being.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, welcome to me in high school. Welcome to me right now.
Yeah, welcome to me right now.
Yeah.
Welcome to me yesterday.
I feel
Were you
like the
prodding women in
baskets-
a museum, Doug?
I like
Super
when he
Market.
comes up. He's like, that's his
Like I
face is.
said, welcome to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like with the baskets of experience that you could gain with the ability to like rewind
That's
time?
not
at
a
any point?
thing. Did you
That
say
you would be less
baskets of
awkward?
experience?
Yeah, of course it's a thing. What are you talking about?
Come
The more
on,
you
hold on,
do
let's like
something,
this
the
up.
better you get at it.
Hold on, Jeremy.
Real-
Have you
real
heard
pulse.
of baskets of experience? It's a thing.
No.
Oh
Okay.
no, that
You know
I
what
made
I've
that
heard
phrase
of?
up just
That's
now.
fine.
Oodles.
Oodles?
That's-
Oodles.
Oodles of experience.
Oodles
Imagine
of
the
experience.
oodles
Well,
of experience.
I don't know if this was a thing that you millenniums say, or you were workshopping this phrase, or I never heard it.
It doesn't
Baskets.
matter. He's just using a
I really haven't.
quantifiable
Baskets is
amount.
Fucking with it. I know. All right, baskets.
Is it a
of
whisker?
experience.
Is it a wicker
movie.
basket? Is all
It's
the
like
experience gonna
yeah,
pass
I was
through?
thinking like
Are they
those
watertight?
Easter baskets where you fill them with like little fluff and then you put the
That doesn't even have a lot of capacity.
Oh,
You need to at least
But
get your hands on
baskets!
like
Run out.
fucking
Jeremy,
save on
baskets.
baskets.
He's holding like 6 of them. At least.
Okay. Okay.
wait, is he actually holding baskets in the movie? I don't remember this part.
But my point is just that like being awkward is just a sign that whatever you're doing at that exact moment is something that you don't have a lot of experience in. But like
what
No,
if
that's-
you're 48 and you're still that awkward?
That's your
Well,
problem.
Well, that's
man.
what if you make it to 48 and you're so awkward talking to women, like chances are like it's because you just don't have enough exposure to doing it. Like because eventually you get good at communicating with people if you do it a lot. So my
Expose
question is
yourself.
like
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've tried exposing myself.
There we go.
Lots of experience exposing myself.
Oh,
But
God.
that's awkward too. So
The
my
Godfather was
point is
hilarious,
just-
but
my point is
I'm
just that
laughing.
like he's
Poor
clearly
bad.
using his power to talk to women. Like that is like a main point of the movie. Is he's
well,
like
even
I
says that
decided-
it's about love, right? For him.
yeah, in the beginning he says that he's using it for love because his dad was using it for
Knowledge.
Books?
money or books and knowledge.
What the heck is
yeah.
up with that?
And
Knowledge,
it was
yeah,
his
makes sense.
his uncle or something like that was using it for money and ended up without any friends or anything
Right.
like that.
Right.
That sort of. So apparently each one of them used it for something, and it just so happened that this guy used it for love. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's I love the idea that they were like, look, money, like whatever, all these other things, whatever, like find something that's actually meaningful to you to use it on. I feel like that's a pretty solid approach.
and then they
for
all go down to the
dad.
beach for tea and stuff like that. and-
As
Yeah.
you do as
But-
being British.
but they're miserable. So sure.
Right.
But
Well-
like, yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't understand his use of the power in this movie. To be perfectly honest.
That's one problem that I did have with it because I like how they set it up. It's just like you go into a closet and you come out and you're back in time.
That was smart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's
Don't make
no-
it complicated.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
Don't explain
There's
it.
no-
It just is.
there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
paradoxes. Paradoxes aren't possible. In the way they're just like he just goes back in time. That's it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Move on. So I like the rule telling in that sense. But it did annoy me that he didn't use it for the reason. And this movie had narration. It didn't need.
Yeah.
It was one
Which
of
is
those
good.
movies.
Yeah, that is
Good
true. It did
amount,
have
which is
narration
kind of
it didn't
annoying.
need.
I'm
Of
more forgiving with
narration.
comrades at Rom or whatever we said. But
Mhm.
yeah, I we don't need it. I'm Tim, and this is my life. We don't need it at all ever.
Mhm.
And it just
Especially when the mom has 3 lines in the whole movie, and he's
Yeah.
like, she's really sturdy, and she's just the kind of woman that like you wouldn't expect her to be. And then it's like, I don't know what the fuck to expect her to be because she's never in the fucking movie. Like what?
He calls
I
his
just have to
mom
take your word
sturdy
for it.
like multiple times in the movie.
Like a
Really?
table.
Yeah. What an
You know,
interesting thing.
in
to-
one of the tenets of storytelling is to say, not show. So that.
I know. It's,
I
it's
think
so
it's the other way
backwards.
around.
yeah, I think it's
Well, that's-
show.
Oh,
You gotta
fuck,
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Well,
I'll
that means
bet.
that this
Now
was
you love
actually
it.
Oh,
bad
no.
about the
Oh,
movie.
no. Oh, I see how it's a problem now.
I think that the narration is a quibble, and I don't think it detracts. From the film.
and as
I-
narration
Minimally.
goes,
I
it's
would
not
say
the worst.
minimally.
No,
It's not the worst.
And-
No.
and like I said, for
terrible now.
movies of the the hell's Jeremy drinking? We tell those kids to shut the fuck up. And
Oh, you can hear them too. Okay. Shit.
I mean, excuse me. Sorry.
Go throw something at
I
him.
lost my. Could tell you, throw a rock at those kids.
God damn it.
Jesus.
You're ruining my podcast.
Yeah.
Just
My
hand them a
rom-com with
grenade,
Rob.
pull the pin, and run away, and see what happens.
Yeah.
No, don't teach them to use grenades.
Oh.
Yeah. What if they throw it back?
But yeah, the narration wasn't necessary, but it didn't. I don't think it kills the film for me because, like I said,
Hey, Brennan.
I go to a movie like this knowing that it's a romantic comedy, and so I'm not bothered by it so much.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty.
And
low
I hear
bar
what you
to
guys are saying. I
cross
guess
with
about
film.
the time travel. I think that's totally not the point of the movie. Who cares?
It's okay. That's what I want to get to. But
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I do want to say is that they really do set it up. They don't. It's not a time travel movie, which I really liked.
No,
Like
it's
it's just time travel is just an element of the story. It's
Yeah.
not really an element of the movie. If that makes any sense. So they're using, but he's using it to gain a foothold in his like romantic encounters and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so it kind of annoyed me in the beginning when he's using it pretty liberally to not mess up with this girl, Charlotte, in the beginning, Margot Robbie.
Mhm.
And so he uses it a few times over the summers that she's there, and then to kind of like fix it, and then he's like, oh, I guess I can't really do anything about it. He couldn't get her to like him,
right.
which I thought was kind of a cool lesson. But then when he's meeting Mary, and he messes up, but he never goes back in time to fix it. And I thought that was kind of
Never.
weird. Yeah, like
Yeah.
never ever. Instead, he plays the awkward stalker route that women in movies tend to find endearing, which is
But
strange.
it would never happen.
Which
Never
is
happens in
very
real
So
life.
strange.
like the most
I
creepy.
think they might prefer it if you actually traveled back in time and redid the entire conversation again
Yes.
to this stalker approach.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's kind of the problem, though, is he was also helping his dad's friend with his play, and they were happening at the same time.
But how
Yeah,
That's
hard?
precisely why.
Yeah.
How hard
Right,
could
right,
it have
right.
been to be like, hey, by the way, like I noticed I was thumbing through your play that like it's pretty complex. Like I think that your actors may forget their lines. I'm pretty sure that if I were a playwright, I would like hammer it into my actors not to fuck up the lines because
I
that would
can't
be really
believe
terrible.
We are going this deep on this film, honestly.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the choices that he makes with this superpower, because I've thought about having a power like this all my life. The choices that he makes with this particular superpower, it's like he may as well not even have the fucking power.
That's kind of the point of the movie.
That's the lesson he learns, but he doesn't abuse the power in the first place.
Way too mad about this.
Matt,
So you're saying that he needed to
That's
abuse the
fine.
power so that he could learn not to abuse the
If
power.
the lesson of the movie is that like you should just live your life day by day and enjoy things as they come,
Totally.
and like knowing what's coming kind of spoils the experience. If that's the lesson of the movie, which is what I took it as,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
he should at some point in the movie not be doing that. But it seems like he doesn't have any actual challenges that he faces by abusing his time travel powers at all. In fact, he never seems to abuse the time travel powers, which just makes me feel like he was perfect from the beginning, which makes me feel like there's not really a whole lot of conflict. And the best thing about the movie is that it's easy to watch and that the chemistry between Rachel McAdams and him is nice after he's really creepy.
well,
I think that's it.
you're right.
I don't think it has to be any more, I don't think it has to be any more than that. It's just a fun
Yeah.
movie. You got Bill Nighy doing Bill Nighy or whatever his name is.
And he's so funny.
He's
It
the
It
best.
is really
He's got-
good.
He is
I was-
so freaking funny.
He'd be the
in this
best dad
movie.
ever for either Shaun of the Dead or this guy.
Absolutely. Philip.
You know what I mean? So, and they live next to the ocean. I think this we're just going way too deep in this movie. I think it's a nice, light, fun, romantic comedy. That's all I ever
Well,
has
yeah.
taken this movie.
Yeah,
I think this
I'm
movie's
just
great.
saying,
I never worried
We're
about all these
talking
details.
about it.
well, and I mean, I
yeah.
think, but I also
guess.
think that there's an element of the conflict, and it's not huge or deep or anything. But like when his sister gets into the car accident,
That
and he
was a
goes
good
back-
scene,
That was
he
good.
goes back to kind of correct that, and he comes back looking for his daughter Posey, or whatever her name is, and finds a son.
Yeah.
Is all of a sudden he's got to go back and undo it
And learn the lesson.
and
through,
learn the
like, real
lesson
life.
that
Yeah.
one of these rules is that you can't go past your child's birth or whatever it is, because you'll create somebody else.
I
And
do.
so
Yeah.
so that's an element of the conflict. Is it strong throughout the movie? No, but
And I appreciate that.
it's an element of an element of the conflict that he's facing. Is that, and then is then finally, spoiler alert, his father dies, and he uses it
Thanks, Doug.
to.
I haven't even seen
Oh,
the
you
movie
didn't
yet.
get to the end.
Daryl didn't even
God
watch
damn
the
it.
movie.
I've seen this movie multiple times. Yeah.
There's
so.
And then, in order to have another child with his wife, he realizes he has to give up
His dad. Yeah.
going back and playing ping pong and going down to the beach with his dad.
Just
So
freaking
I mean,
touching.
are those strong conflicts throughout the movie? No, but I think that is the element. And for something like this, I'd say it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
actually really admire that the character feels that it is unthinkable to go back in time and then come back and find that he has like a son instead of a daughter or whatever, because there's definitely an aspect of like
It's called the sperm paradox, I think.
the sperm.
Ew,
par-
I don't like that.
Mhm.
When
Gross.
well,
Oh,
my
it's-
main point was just
We
that,
just spoiled
like,
the movie for Brennan. Sorry, Brennan.
Why are you watching this if you haven't seen the movie?
Why'd you
These are fucking
suggest it if
hilarious.
you haven't seen the movie?
Yeah.
No, that's
And,
but-
and I would also say that he doesn't necessarily need to abuse it, as the character's not that. He's flawed, but his flaws seem pretty
Manageable.
superficial.
yeah.
They're very shallow.
He clearly comes
Uh,
from a long line of time travelers that have
and-
like
yeah,
set up the family
and-
to be successful, right? Like,
I think
know,
this is
so-
just this is light time travel light. You know,
Mhm.
This
It
isn't-
is.
This isn't
It
time
is.
time crimes time travel, and it shouldn't be.
You know,
right?
and they
Because-
don't
Travel
give any
back in
kind
time
of
and pronounce that
technology
quickly.
or reason why or anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bill Nighy and what's his name and all the characters just kind of buy into it, and so we do too.
Yeah.
You know,
I think what the most important thing to recognize is how perfect Rachel McAdams is as the manic pixie dream girl. She is
Mhm.
the perfect woman in this film. I would take her over Margot Robbie all day. in
I
this movie.
would.
Yep.
I do
All
want
day
to
long.
say that.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well,
I don't know.
well, first off, Brennan wants us to discuss the movie in depth and not reveal anything about the plot.
sorry.
Too
not
late
gonna happen.
for
It's
all
not
that.
gonna
Also, we did go in depth. You might have missed it.
Yeah.
yeah, we were in depth. Just
But we
rewind.
didn't
You were
talk
off
about
getting
the
another
plot, though.
beer.
Yeah.
Look for
Yeah.
where I was shouting. That was the in-depth part.
Mhm.
That's from
Take
the
that little
beginning.
drag bar and then rewind it till you see Ben's face.
Yeah,
and then
that's
there you
the
go.
beginning of the
That's
podcast. That's like any moment of the podcast.
And my face was like this. I was shocked at Ben's rage.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I did want to point out though that Bill Nighy can put up a pretty good volley of ping pong. I was very impressed every
Yeah.
time they played ping pong.
He must have
ping pong.
practiced a
I
lot.
think he's done it
That was-
before.
It was incredible.
He must
I
have.
assumed that was all CGI. I thought that's what they blew their budget on.
It was a
They
stunt
probably
double.
bred a special, trainer.
Yeah.
A ping pong trainer.
I like how
So-
Bill Nighy can never unfurl his ring and pinky finger. He's always
Yeah, it's always.
always like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never really.
And he's great at playing himself, which is thank God, right? He's always great at being that one guy. Even as
That's true.
Billy Bones, what's the bottom of the ocean guy
Nah,
called?
he's
Davy
he's-
Jones?
Davy
yeah,
Jones.
David
he's
Jones.
Pretty
Yeah,
different.
he's
pretty
definitely
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's all CGI.
Yeah,
He
he did
plays
have a rubber
Davy
face.
Jones?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He's a
Did you
fucking
think
that was a
amazing
real
guy-
Davy Jones.
Did you think that was a real guy with a squid in his head?
I thought that was Davy Jones. I thought they just casted him in the role. He's immortal.
He's kind of hard to get
Like,
a hold of though.
How they get the real Davy Jones? It's funny too is about that. I love the pirate movies, the first two, by the way. And what an amazing portrayal of it. Like who knows? Whoever even knew what Davy Jones looked like. I don't know if we ever knew, right? You always heard about Davy Jones's locker,
Mhm.
and so I think they just made him up, and I think it's the best Davy Jones I've ever seen. It's also the only one.
He looks like
Good
nothing from
imagination.
that guy from the Monkeys, though.
Oh, that's true.
Ah, very nice.
No mullet, no mullet.
No tambourine either.
Just in Oregon.
He's got the organ.
Just a giant
Oh, he
pipe
has
organ.
that head sack. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. No, it's on the back of his neck.
Yeah, back
Is
of the neck
that-
head sack.
octopus
old
head.
I was
head
thinking
sack.
of the Balchinians from Men in Black 2. You
Balchinians.
Stupid.
guys remember those guys? They have to like eat
Yes.
fucking.
I
Will Smith
really
kicks
don't.
One of them in the chin. And
I don't
I choose
remember Men in
not to.
Black 2.
I don't think I
I
made
don't
it past Men in
remember
Black
those.
1.
Men in Black
Me
1 is a
neither.
good movie. Men in Black 2 is questionable at best.
Some cool moments.
Is that the one where there's aliens?
Yeah.
No, actually, there's no aliens in Men in
The one
Black.
with Will Smith.
And
the one with Will
Rosario
Smith?
Dawson is
The-
is an alien.
Is
You're
she?
thinking of After Earth with Will Smith and
Earth?
Jaden Smith.
That-
After Earth?
Yeah, after
It's a
Earth.
great
Earth
movie. I've never
to
seen it.
not watch.
Isn't that an M Night Shyamalan movie?
It
It
is.
is. I saw that one in theaters.
Was that any good?
Wow.
But it's okay. It was the Dollar Theater.
I'm pretty sure it's considered
Only
one of
place
Will
I'd
Smith's
watch
worst
it.
movies.
Yeah.
Worth every cent.
Yeah, right. At the
Oh,
dollar.
so you
All
got a
60 of
refund?
them.
I'd also like to point out that if you subscribe and like our podcast, you will get yourself a tentacle beard, Brennan. So I know those are on hot demand.
That is true. We're giving.
What does
them
that
out.
mean?
If you wanted to know, you would pay attention to the chat, Dad.
Thank you. There's a chat?
Yes. Why are
I
we
gave
live
up on the
streaming this?
chat. Yeah, I
Do
gave
you
up
think
on the
that
chat
we're just
since
talking? Have you just been getting on the phone with us week after week?
Oh,
thinking
I thought
this
we were
is
just
just a-
bullshitting.
He
Are we online or
absolutely
something?
is. Yeah, we're all. Oh.
We all on
Ever
the
since that-
internet.
Right.
that
Okay.
one
You didn't even do your
beloved
makeup.
fan.
Yeah.
I do
Stop
have a question for the
responding.
group, which is
All natural.
because I've thought about this power a lot growing up, and one of the things that I've thought of about using it is I feel like one of the most immediate things that I would do is I would live my whole life, and then I would just like I got to the end, I'm like on my deathbed, and then I would like squeeze my fists or whatever, and then just like wake up as like a, I don't know, as like a college kid or something, and then just like do it again, just like completely differently.
Like you'd Inception it.
I don't think that's.
Remember him and Maul? They live till they're into their old ladies, till they're old ladies in their dreams.
What age is that?
What?
Oh, there's a part where they're old
Yeah,
bags
they're-
walking around.
Yeah, they're old.
So they lived
people.
into being old in their dream old. I
that
never still
late
understand that
80s?
goddamn
They're
movie.
They're
ladies?
dream. Yeah, they're
They're
dream
8
old,
ladies.
but
Yes.
they're live young.
Yes.
They're
They
mammals.
lived into their 8 ladies.
Would you
Rom-com.
would you guys do that? Because I feel like the movie implies very strongly that that
8
this
ladies is
family
playing the
would
wiener
not
roast.
do that. God damn it.
Ah.
Oh, Ben's not amused. I'm laughing so much. My
I have
veins
a
are
real
popping on my
question. I have a
forehead.
real
Sorry. What was your real
brain
question?
teaser
I
over
apologize.
here.
Sorry.
Would
Tease
you
my
guys?
brain.
Would you guys not do that? Would you guys not just live your whole life and then fucking
Well,
restart and do it
hold
again?
on.
Like,
I
just
would.
I think
live
this is a lot like
infinitely?
I think this is a lot like masturbation. So you would what you're saying is that you would go, okay, I got this power. I'm going to wait 80 years to use it again, please.
I don't think that's how.
No, that's not what I'm
masturbation
saying.
I think it is just like masturbation where you're like, I'm never doing this again. The first time you do it, you're like, oh, I'm scared now and I feel so weird. And in 5 minutes, man, you were back in there. The sink's running. You know what I mean? You got the shower
Your
going. You
mom's
know,
pounding on the door.
yeah. What
Stop
are you
combing
doing?
your
There?
hair.
I'm combing my hair. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
works. Can't use that excuse.
You're saying
anymore.
you would wait 80 fucking years. I'm telling you, you'd wait 5 fucking minutes.
No,
So-
my point was not about
Okay,
how
go
often
ahead.
I was using
Sorry.
the power. My point was about restarting my life and just going in a completely different trajectory from where I had been.
So no
like the first
kids,
time
because if
around.
you have kids, then you can't go back, right? You can't go back and
No, you
visit your
can
can
dad.
go
back.
back. The kids just change if you.
Well, that's tough.
I recognize that, but what I'm saying is, if I live a long, fulfilling life, and then like I'm on
It's
my
like
deathbed,
time traveling abortion or something.
I would just revert back to being a child and live
is.
my life again.
It's like time
It's-
travel
Time
trading.
traveling abortion, man.
It's like
Oh,
it's like a
Oh, where's the
it's like a time
legislation on
travel
that?
kid swap.
yeah, time
Ugh.
travel kid swap.
Time
My
travel
point
kid
is
swap
just that
playing
this
with-
Playing
power
the
makes
wiener
you
roast.
immortal.
Playing the Mohawk.
You're like, I'm gonna roll the dice, see what kind of brats I get this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Imagine
with,
if
like-
a kid
But
sucks.
you could even fall in love
Oh,
with a
dude.
completely different
No,
person.
these kids
Yeah,
suck.
you
Roll it
could just
again.
Retry.
What if
I'm
kid's an
totally,
asshole?
I'm totally
You
on board
could
with
you could get
Ben.
a completely different job. You could fall in love
Yes.
with a completely different person. You could live a completely
Ugh.
different life on a completely different trajectory. And you
Yes.
could do this often enough that you figure out which trajectory is your favorite, and that person is probably your actual soulmate.
I
There-
think that
This is a very interesting thing that I want to actually lead into our next movie when we get there. But that's
I'm just saying, like, the
Interesting.
power is effective immortality, because if you can
Mhm.
always go back in time to when you were younger, you could just live your life in an infinite number of ways forever,
Mhm.
which is fucking cool, I think.
It is,
And
but
it's sort of implemented. Sorry,
Yeah.
when Bill Nighy says that he's read everything
Right.
a
Yeah.
man can read.
Mhm.
So
Right.
he enjoyed reading very much, and so he did a lot of that.
Dickens
uh,
3 times.
It is
I
weird
don't-
that he didn't like get into anything else, you know?
I
It's
think that-
like-
I think that as an old person myself, 48 years old, I think that I wouldn't want to relive it that much. You know what I mean? Like, I think this one life has been enough. I couldn't imagine going back and doing it all over again. And did you ever see? I didn't appreciate it as much as a kid, but there's a Twilight Zone the movie. There is a vignette, if you will, one of the episodes, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's called "Kick the Can." And it's about these kids who go out and they're all actually a bunch of old people in their 80s and stuff, and they go out and kick a can, and it makes them young again. And most of them decide to go back to being old, except for this one guy. But I like I said, being 48 at this point, I don't think I would want to go back and do it all over again. Honestly, I really wouldn't. I think I'm good.
well, it's yeah.
I've been through enough, and you know what I mean. Because with all this potential for other life, there's still all the potential for all the pains of life and the misery and all that stuff. You're just gonna have to do it over and over again. You're gonna get worn out, man, quick.
well,
that's
I
kind
assume
of
that,
that's
like,
kind of the
yeah.
indication that you can't tell
It's from the movie, yeah.
by changing this one thing, you have no idea what you're going to lose.
Well, yeah,
same
and so
time.
that was my thought process again, is just that, like, because it's immortality and you have nothing but time to kill, like, you could just like live out a bunch of different trajectories and just like enjoy life in a million different ways. Like you would never have any regrets because you could just go back in time and then like I really should have become an astronaut. And then you just go back in time to grade school and fucking become an astronaut. And then you're
No
like, well, that
regrets.
life was cool. I wonder what it would have been like if I was a firefighter. Go back in time and like fucking do like become a firefighter and like
Okay, yeah, but like when you have a bunch of different playable characters in a video game, and then you're like, "Fuck, I really should have played that guy," and then you get through the first level with that character, and you're like, "This sucks." The problem is, it takes an
Still on that
incredible
first
amount of
level.
patience, right? Because it's like, "Oh, I want to go be a firefighter." You might hit the restart button, and then like maybe a day in or a month in or whatever, be like, "Shit, that was a bad idea."
But if we're
Now you're
talking about the
stuck.
same powers in this movie, you would be able to go back to the future.
well, you
Mhm.
can't really like once you commit to a new path, that's it. But like
Yeah, and they even explore this in the movie because remember she what's her name, Margot Robbie, she's like, well, which was hilarious when she's
Yeah,
like,
it
I
was
feel like
funny.
an afterthought. And he's like, oh, okay, dang. So he goes back into the closet and then he tries again earlier and it sort of works, but she's like, why
Ask
don't
me
you
again
ask
on
me
my
on the
last
last
day.
day?
Yeah.
Now you have to relive the whole damn month again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That sucks. I don't
But
want to
that's
relive the whole
one
month. I just
thing.
relived it. I just
Yeah, but
lived
that-
it.
See, that's interesting that we're getting these two different perspectives because I'm totally on Ben's side. I would probably do that. There's like a bunch of things where I would
You
want
want
to
to go through that
back
whole?
and
You
try.
just lived that month. It's going to be the
But,
basic.
Well,
but
I
they've,
like
they've also been
living,
pretty clear
though.
that
Well, hold on. All the wonderful stuff,
living
but
is
I hear what you're saying,
sick.
and I'm not trying to talk you out.
Living
I'm
is
just saying,
sick.
all the wonderful stuff you have to do all the bullshit too,
Yeah.
and that gets
Yeah,
is more easy, fun, easy stuff. Happy is easy, man. Right? The bullshit's hard, and you
Mhm.
get worn out from it. So, like I said,
Well-
being a 48-year-old man, I would not want to relive a lot of my because you're going bad things are going to happen, tough times are going to happen, heartbreaks on and on. You're gonna have to relive that over and over and over again. That sounds
in
horrible.
a
to me.
different new way.
You're gonna have fun. You're right. The new fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna be an astronaut too, but you're still gonna have to go through all the bad stuff too.
You can
And
still
that just
make
sounds
whatever
exhausting.
trajectory you choose as perfect as you want it to be, though.
and what happens if you burn in as an astronaut and you die and then okay, it's over.
Well, then
See?
you die.
What
but,
if you
like,
shuttle
you've also lived 100
Oh,
lives.
I
Like
didn't
you
even
got to
think
live
about
more
that.
than anybody else.
You have a fun, exciting, adventurous life, and then you die.
Then you're
Like
dead.
who cares?
Yeah, then
You
like everyone
fucking
else.
lived 50 lives. Like that's 50 times
Maybe,
more than
or
anybody else
maybe
gets to
you,
live.
maybe
You're
you were
dying
like,
again.
you know what? This is my first
Good night.
redo on life, and this time I want to be an astronaut, and then you die.
like I wouldn't want to
Big
be a
whoop,
vampire
you-
either.
You
But-
got to relive your life and become an astronaut and die gloriously. You still got to live 2 lives.
That's
It's 100
Not
points.
worth it.
That is
Eh.
that's still the. I mean, you're gonna die anyway. This isn't like true immortality. You are going to die. You are stuck in that
Yeah.
period of time that your life would exist. You can't
Like the
go
dad
into
eventually
future.
dies.
You can't go
Yes.
into the past. Yeah, and the dad has also gone back. And I there's a
And the
bunch
dad
of
tried
little
to fix his
conversations.
cancer, but he wasn't willing to give up his kids.
Yeah, he's like
That was why
I
he
couldn't go back
dies.
far enough. But he also does give a couple of cool things where like when he's talking about his cancer to Tim for the first time, and Tim's like, "We've already had this conversation, haven't we?"
Mm.
Which is pretty. It's like wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
Dad has regretted some of the stuff that he said maybe during
How many
that
times have we had this
and then
conversation?
gone
Yeah,
back.
I like that scene a lot.
So there's a couple of interesting things about the perceived immortality kind of thing. So Bitch Toast says hi.
Who?
Oh,
What?
hi, bitch
Bitch
toast.
Toast.
Bitch toast.
Bitch
What's up,
toast.
Is
bitch
this a
toast?
new
New
person?
follower, I
What
guess.
kind
Yeah.
of bread would that be?
Follower?
That's a great
I-
question.
Bitch toast.
I don't know how to make bitch toast.
Yeah.
Bitch toast. You have officially got me back on the chat. From this day
There we go.
forward,
Where's
I will
this
start
chat?
looking at
Where's
this
this
chat.
It's on
chat.
YouTube. It's
on
on our
YouTube.
live stream.
Where's this YouTube? Where's this YouTube?
Oh god.
There's this
in-
thing called YouTube.
Yeah, HTTP.
Where's the internet?
But I was
There's
also
actually
thinking,
links for it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm
There
sure there is.
I was also thinking,
That
Daryl,
would
you
mean
were
I'd have
saying
to-
that like you're sick of it, but like you could just restart your life, and like as soon as you were like, you know what, like this sucks. I don't want to fucking do this anymore. You could just kill yourself. Like you already lived a fulfilling life. Like it's not upsetting if you're ready to die. Like you're already 900 years
You're-
old or whatever.
So mad about this. No, I know. I totally hear what you're saying, but like I said, it's the same thing. It's to me, this is like also when you watch vampire movies and you're like, wow, because immortality, right? And always, it's the same thing. I think I'm like, man, after 200 years, I'd be so over it, man. I'd be like, put the stake in my heart. It's not as great as it sounds. I mean, talk to anyone who's lived to 100, right? Everyone they know is dead. You know, they don't want to.
Yeah,
they
but
don't want to do it
they
anymore.
could just go back in time to when the people that they want to be around were alive.
And then their kids are different. Now, if your kids
They get
suck,
to have new kids and raise new kids. Like,
I-
I mean, it's just a different, like, it's completely different. It's like a
I
fucking
don't-
round two.
have some kids, and we'll talk about that. Because like if I went
Yeah,
back
that's
and,
what I was wondering.
and the kids
actually.
were different, that would be pretty rough on me.
That'd be weird.
That
Yeah.
That would
Kinda
be,
like
I
the
mean,
ones
for
I
your
got.
for your mental health, I
Yeah.
think that would be pretty.
Especially
fucking
since
rough.
one of those kids is on the podcast.
Well, that's
No one
actually
know-
what
yeah.
I was wondering because that's
don't
a
wanna
big
say
thing
anything.
to them, and they don't even. It's
I'm not hurt.
unquestionable.
No, I said,
whether or
like I
not
said, if you
they
had
would
shitty
change
kids,
the
I get
kids.
it. Then you're like, oh my god, let's restart this. Let's do the sperm paradox. But you know, if you like your kids, it'd be kind of shitty. I don't know. Like I said, I still think, and this question comes up a lot for, you know, being immortal or anything. I don't think anyone would be happy being immortal. Excuse me.
Yeah, but at least this one you have a very easy out. You know, you don't need to like get a stake through the
Yeah,
heart.
you
or
are still
whatever.
you're still
Yeah.
mortal. You're just in a time loop of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
choice. It's different. It's a different situation. That's why
It's a different time loop.
at this point in my life, I'd agree with Ben. They're like, there's some things I would want to go back and change. You know, see what the difference is.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that I could go back and just give it a little test drive.
Yeah, see that'd be good.
Like-
See, and then you
like
bring
But-
it
but
back.
not-
what if?
Yeah, I wish I could go back and just do a little what if thing, but not actually change anything.
Well,
in the
that's why
present.
the ultimate superpower would not actually be this one, but it would actually be just having save states, like in a video game.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
you
That's
could
what
just
I
have a
want.
save
Bring me
state,
back
you
to
could
the
always
video game
return
thing.
to the fucking timeline where Danon
Playable
is alive.
characters.
Like, fucking no brainer, dude.
Oh
You
god.
can always go back to your deathbed, just put a fucking save state on your deathbed, and when you're done, just fucking load up your deathbed and be like, all
Yeah.
right, peace.
See, this
Because
is what
then-
you did in Oblivion. Is like right before you left the sewers, you would save. And so when you wanted to go and start a new character, when you left the sewers, you had the option to choose your attributes and your character and all that stuff. So
Oh,
you,
that's right. Yeah.
you bypass all the bullshit with the Emperor because fuck that dude. Save right before the sewers. Then when you want to play a new character, you load that save up, have a completely new life. I'm on
Literally
Ben's
what I
side.
was gonna say,
See, I took the words right
Not
out of
really.
your mouth.
but
Not at all.
that's what I'm talking about. Because then you could really do what you're talking about, Ben, and just okay, I want to try out being this thing, or I want to try. Just let's see what would happen if I had made this decision instead of that decision, but not have to actually affect anything in the present day. Then I would be super down. But the fact that there's a bunch of unknowns on the other side of that, meaning, okay, I get to try this thing out and see how it plays out. But now that's kind of, unless I want to go back and redo it all over again, but that's too much work.
Right.
So you want
yeah.
your regular life timeline, and then you want to be able to branch off of that.
I want
into a
regular
separate
life
one, and then be able to go
timeline
back and do it.
saved,
Yes.
Yeah.
hard locked in.
Yeah.
And then I want to have a sandbox timeline
Yes.
that I can do whatever I
I-
want with.
I think this is ice cream for dinner,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
totally.
Yeah.
right?
totally.
Where
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you're like, oh my god, if you know my parents suck, if I could just have, when I'm an adult, I'm gonna have ice cream for dinner every
Oh,
night.
I see what
Then you
you're
became an
saying.
adult and you eat a bunch of ice cream. You're like, well, I
Sometimes
know,
it's
I
nice.
see now why they couldn't. It's fun at first,
It's
but after a
sometimes
while,
fun.
you can't fucking have ice cream for dinner every night because
Mm-mm.
you realize it's not great actually to have that too much. It's like my perfect summer was I 18, 19 or something like that. Some of us got laid off, some of us got fired, and we paid our rent a month in advance and lived off unemployment, and it was the best month of my life, you know. But and it was because we just went to the beach all the time. We got trespassing in a hazardous area tickets. It was a great month. It was really weird. So we would go to one beach and then we walk across the rocks to another beach, but that was a private rich people beach, and we got tickets for being over there. So it was called trespassing in a hazardous area.
I mean,
Anyways.
you don't know what
Rich
those
people are
old people are
hazardous.
gonna do.
Fuck you,
Dude, there was nobody on the
Why
fucking
are
beach,
they
but
hazardous?
we weren't supposed to be there, right? So they own that
Huh.
beach. So, but anyways, but I think it's better that I'm not able to relive it all the time. It's in my memory, and I see it as the best. Like I said, I'm arguing, even trying to talk you out of it, because this is interesting how you guys, like, you know, that's the beauty of art, the beauty of anything, of different personalities. You guys think it would be a great idea. Me, I'm good. You know, I've always felt this way. Like, you know, I lived it. I have it in my memory. I'm good. I'm moving on. You know what I mean? So where Jeremy, you're kind of the same way. I don't know where Doug's at.
Yeah. Essentially.
know,
I mean, like I
I'd
said,
agree.
if
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you. Is that after a while, it's you're gonna have a lot of experiences that are on the same level, and which one do you eventually just become?
Tell those fucking kids. I'm just kidding.
You're, God dang it.
So those
So
kids
loud.
that we're gonna make sure they don't even get to live one life if they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck their timeline.
Ending your timeline now.
Yeah, we're doing the sperm paradox.
Yeah. What did that
On your
old man say?
parents.
What'd that
God,
kid say?
Yeah, right.
Oh
What
my
did you just say,
God.
my kid? You're ending his timeline?
Yeah,
What the
right
hell's going on
now.
over there?
Look, I'm doing a podcast. Oh, sorry, we didn't realize. We'll
Yeah,
be
well-
quiet now.
Right.
Sorry.
These
Yeah.
kids. So Ben did say something earlier that's very interesting. This actually, I'll talk about like the next movie that I want to do to put forward. I want to put forward two, but one of them it's called Mr. Nobody, and it's a movie with Jared Leto. It's like the only movie with Jared Leto that I actually like, but it deals a lot with that, where it kind of plays on that idea, that religious idea that kids have spirits and they're in heaven before they're born. But then
Oh,
when they're
okay.
born,
They're
they
in the
forget all
guff.
of this. Huh?
They're in the guff.
The guff?
Is that what it's called?
The guff.
That's what they call it in what the seventh son or whatever it was.
The guff? That's a
Seventh
terrible name.
Lebowski.
We should watch
should-
that movie.
They should renege. Have you
Yeah.
seen that movie?
What's that?
Mr. Nobody?
No, you keep telling me about it, and I keep meaning to watch it, and then I keep don't watching it.
Okay.
It's also
well,
on Netflix. I
It is
think.
on Netflix.
So-
It's a really good movie, but it deals with that. So one of these kids, he doesn't forget his memories of like all the possible lives that he could have lived, and so he gets born, and he has the option to choose. And so there's this one big moment in his life where his parents divorce, and he either can choose to go live with his dad or his mom.
Oh,
And his mom has two different outcomes, and his dad has one. But it leads him down different paths of love in his life. So there's the passionate one. There's the one where he's very wealthy. There's the one where he's very depressed all the time. He's kind of stuck in the situation. So it's a movie about choice, which is really, really
Why-
interesting. And so like
why,
this,
why would I ever choose the depressed one? Like, oh man, I'd be wealthy or
this
have
is just a
fucking
look
true
into
love,
like he
or
has
be
the
miserable.
he has the look in his life, so he's able to like look forward
Yeah.
Green Knight style and see kind of like what
Mm.
that path in his life leads down. And so he's
One
not
year.
choosing these yet. We as the viewer are experiencing.
Well, don't tell me
these.
nothing more because I want to watch the movie then.
Yeah, no, it's a really
So.
good movie, but it's definitely a movie that makes you think, and you're just like, oh wow, like there's a lot that could spawn from a single choice, you know, and that's kind of what this is about. It's about branching decisions and stuff like that made of one decision. So it's this really, really big key event in his life, and what he chooses to do in that moment is what defines the entire rest of his life. And so it's a very interesting thing. It really makes you think about some of the choices that you've made in your life, and you're like, wow, my life would be very, very different had I not done this thing, this big, huge life event. So it's,
Doesn't
it's
that
a
have
very
the-
interesting movie.
The singer from 10 Seconds to Mars, 5 Seconds to Mars. How many seconds to Mars?
30.
About 30.
Is it 30 seconds?
Yeah.
How do you get
Well,
to
you
Mars in 30 seconds?
No, wait,
So
30
it's, you've
30
been
seconds away.
traveling and you're now 30 seconds from Mars.
Oh,
Oh,
close is that?
so he's
Dude,
about
how
30
close is that?
seconds out.
Yeah,
But this is
What?
based
It's
on
definitely
I've
out there.
never. That is
I mean,
not
how
how,
fast
I've
are you
ever
going?
thought
Okay.
about
Wow,
that.
I've never thought about
Really?
a band name
How
so
did
in
you
depth
guys?
before.
How did you guys think it was?
I always
It only
thought they
takes
were
30 seconds
just
to Mars. He's up-
30
he's up-
seconds to Mars.
yeah,
Oh,
Matt
you
did
thought
train,
like
so
the
it's
whole
bullet
trip
train.
was 30 seconds to Mars?
Now I feel like an idiot. Yes.
I
I
mean,
was
I
like,
guess like
Me
you
too.
I always assumed that they had been traveling and they're like, we're almost there, dude. 30 seconds to Mars. Like we're like excited about
we're
it.
almost
you know?
there.
Is that
I
not
like
it?
that way better.
That's
Wait,
interesting.
is it not?
Matt Damon.
I thought it was like what,
Matt
they're like, hey,
Damon.
how much more till Mars? Oh shit, we got 30 seconds, and then
Yeah,
like,
Daryl, you and I are on the
Yeah.
same page. Danon and
So
Jeremy
what is it?
are not.
what did you guys think it was?
We
They
thought it was.
thought it
that
was
the whole
like-
trip was 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Oh, that it took
Yeah.
30 seconds? You
Yeah,
guys
like
are so
just like
dumb.
Well, they said, how long
I
does it
feel
take to
dumb
get there?
now.
You say 30 seconds.
30
to Mars.
seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds to Mars. That's a short trip.
right,
Oh,
right.
it's
wait,
like
wait,
RV
wait.
is
Couldn't even
some really
travel that
hip,
fast.
clever.
Now I want to know. I want to know what the actual meaning of the band is, because I
Ugh.
feel I've never heard.
You know
this
what?
other
Jared
side
Leto
to it.
probably has some long ass winded
Yeah.
explanation that'll
And he-
take
he
you
dresses
a
up like
whole
the Joker when he
GQ
does it, and-
interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that
And he
picture of
explains it
Jared
to all
Leto?
method. And
Mm-hmm.
Have you
as
guys
a
seen that
Martian.
picture of Jared Leto at some fashion show walk? And this dude is wearing like a really like a green double-breasted like trench coat thing, and he's walking down the aisle, and Jared's like, and then
Oh,
the
I
next
have seen
picture is
that,
him
yeah.
at
Yeah.
the Met Gala, and he's wearing
Yeah, yeah.
that fucking dress.
No.
It's so funny.
It's
I've
great,
seen that.
dude. It's so
Great.
good. It's so
Ah.
good.
Well, it's so funny because Jared Leto's a great actor and a terrible Joker. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
The worst fucking. And I hated it. His Joker got worse if that was possible in.
I thought it was.
Oh,
just as
in the
bad
Snyder
in-
Cut?
Yeah, Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Snyder Cut, like he was terrible. I couldn't believe how
Still
bad
hated
of
him
a
as the
he
Joker.
was.
Yeah, he was still.
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
And he's a great actor. I mean, he's done
Mhm.
so many great acting things.
They should
But,
have just
um,
casted Mark Hamill, dude. Fucking.
Who? What? Casted?
Yeah. Cast
They
it.
So you
Casted
should
it.
past tense of
Make him
Should
casting.
an
have
old Joker.
casted.
It would have
Well,
costed
see-
them more.
Yeah,
I'm
would've
gonna go
costed
into
to
a
cast it.
cupboard and squeeze my fists and then say cast correctly.
Yeah, there you go.
Why? Why would you do that?
And then after they casted Mark Hamill, and then it costed them all that much, they'd have to renege on it.
Yeah, see? I'm still salty about that. That's a stupid fucking word, okay? I'm going to go back in
Yeah.
time. I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to go back
Yeah.
in time and find the guy who said renege
Oh, and punch him.
and beat him to death.
It's renege!
It's
It's
renege.
Renege.
Renege. Stupid. Anyways,
Well, how's it spelled? Like Renege?
isn't it like renege?
It's,
got-
don't even
it's
know, no.
technically
It's a
renege,
double
but
E.
it's a. But remember that English is an assemblage of many language origins, and so they don't
Is it-
always.
renege, renege, tomato, tomato. Who cares?
But how do you say it in British?
Renege.
Renege.
Renege,
Right.
Renege.
Renege.
Roy.
right?
Right.
So,
Renege.
Jenny,
Oh, look! I put in renege, and it says, "Do you mean renege?
see? What does Siri
Yes.
say?
To go back on a promise, revoke, obsolete, to make a denial." Yeah. What
does
is
Jared
renege
Leto
short
say? How does
for?
Jared Leto pronounce it? I'll find that out.
Huh? Interesting.
It's actually short for renegiment, which is the opposite of a regiment.
Stupid.
I think it's funny because you think it's funny.
That's pretty good. Dude, I said the best joke at work today.
Please
It's gonna be
don't.
great because it's out of context.
Yeah.
But we had this family of 3 coming in, and the last name was Guel. It was Guel, and I was talking. It's actually family members to one of my coworkers, and so I talked to my coworker. I was like, "Have you ever walked in a room of 3 of them, and they were doing something they weren't supposed to?" And he said, "Well, what have we got here?" And they thought it was pretty funny, so I took that one.
They had never heard that before. Like
no
had made
one
the well,
should
well,
ever
well?
hear that ever. But I said it.
No one should ever
So-
hear that.
Yeah.
But you
That
said
was
it.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Thank
No.
you. That was
Mm,
good.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think you
That's
had to
pretty
be
good.
there, and I think
Yeah.
it had to be funny.
And
things
I
are
think
missing.
they should have reneged
Prerequisites.
it.
I've
Two things
I've
I'm
learned
missing.
that Daryl's favorite thing is to listen to somebody talking about how they did something funny once, and no matter what it is,
He,
he will be like, "Wow, that's not funny at all."
yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna
be laughing, too.
shit
Yeah.
all over you.
As soon as somebody's like, "I had a good experience," Daryl's like, "Please, do
No, you
tell."
didn't.
Enlighten
You didn't.
Tell me more.
This is where I'm gonna pounce, right? So-
I can't wait for you to not like this anymore.
I can't wait to hate what you're saying right now.
Oh,
I want to do that movie. That would be a great movie. But I've
Mr.
also
Nobody.
really, because I was talking to Ben about this when we were in Colorado. I really want to do this Three Stooges.
What?
Three
Excuse
Stooges
me?
would be a fantastic movie. Not Three
The old
Stooges.
one or the
No,
the old one or the
not
one-
those Three Stooges. Three Musketeers. Three Musketeers.
Oh,
was
the
gonna
Three
say-
Musketeers.
Talking about the remake?
No.
You-
No.
Recognize it? No, but it first
Wrong.
rings a bell. Paul.
Go back in time. I'm gonna renege on that.
I was
Which-
like, we
which
never talked about the
version?
fucking Three Stooges. You've lost your mind.
I have apparently. I'm
The
misremembering
Fairly
that.
Brothers remake? Let's watch
No,
it.
no, I don't want to watch any
No.
of that. No, I mean the Three Musketeers. We should watch the Three Musketeers.
Which version?
Which one?
With Chris
What do you
O'Donnell?
mean? No, am I
No.
thinking
One
of the
with
wrong-
Really?
Charlie Sheen and Kiefer Sutherland and
I'm
Oliver
definitely
Platt.
thinking of the wrong movie. What's the fucking the movie
One
with
with Steve
Steve
Carell.
Martin? Steve
Steve
Martin
Martin,
and
sorry.
Chevy
Oh,
Chase.
the
Three Amigos.
Three Amigos.
Oh my
You're
god!
ridiculous.
Wow!
Dude, you went from
Three
the
Long trip around
Musketeers.
on that one.
Whew.
Three Stooges.
Oh my
Stooges.
God.
You know,
The
it's-
Three Musketeers.
I was so convinced I had it right at that time too. Like I
David,
was
go
like, that's-
go clench your fists in the closet, man.
man.
Yeah, that was awful. That was so hilarious.
Oh, we're a
Oh.
podcast with a bunch of movie TV nerds, so we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, making Three Stooges
What?
jokes, and then we're like,
Ah.
oh, Chris O'Donnell, oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
And I was like, what are you guys talking about?
Have you guys
No,
seen that?
you
It's a
idiot.
terrible
idiot.
version.
The comedy.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's
they're
terrible.
all
Even
so
back,
bad.
we
Yeah.
went to the theaters, and I was like, "This is stupid." The
Yeah.
I especially hate this actor's name, whose name I can't remember. They casted him
Hmm.
in the movie, Oliver Platt. Ugh,
I don't know who that is.
hate
Oliver
that fat
Platt?
bastard. Oliver Platt. I hate him. He plays Porthos, I think,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I hated him in the '90s. And they threw him in everything in the '90s.
don't know
Oliver
that guy.
Platt.
Oliver
Is
Platt.
that
anyways.
the one with Chris O'Donnell?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only person.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He plays
Robin.
D'Artagnan, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, anyways, not that movie.
Yeah,
None of
sorry.
those movies, but Three Amigos would be a
Three Amigos.
fantastic movie.
Oh my
Oh,
god, I love
great
Three
movie.
Amigos.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
At least once a year on that one.
hmm I haven't
good
seen
one.
it in a long, long time. I haven't seen it in
Oh,
years.
it's so good.
Years and years.
I haven't
but
seen
Ben
it
hasn't
since
seen
I
it.
was a child, at least. I
Yeah.
know I've
Oh
seen
my
it, but
God.
I, haven't,
Since I
I
was a
can't remember anything about it.
I wonder what that's on.
Way, lad.
Right.
Well, you'll learn that tequila's not fattening, and it's kind of like beer.
I'll be right
I
back.
love when the German guys come in. Look at the couple of sissies, and then they shoot everybody in the bar. The movie's so great. I love the Three
It's a
Amigos.
fantastic
It's
movie.
it's right up there with Airplane.
Yeah. that's a good
I've
one.
been meaning to watch
I like
Top
Airplane.
Secret. Have you guys seen Top Secret?
Yeah,
God, I haven't
Val
seen that
Kilmer.
since I was a kid.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was
Val
about
Kilmer.
Kid.
Yeah,
It's actually pretty funny in the same way. It misses a little more often than like the Airplane, but
Okay.
it's the same kind of
Like
humor.
Hot Shots. And stuff like that.
And,
Have
yeah,
you guys seen Kilmer yet?
It was Val. I
I
want to
need
watch
to,
it though.
Val.
Or
I need
Val?
to.
What I
documentary?
said called
Yeah.
Kilmer.
What are you talking
It's
about?
really good actually. It's really good.
Oh, it's a documentary,
documentary?
about Val
Yeah.
Kilmer?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
what's
because
really-
he had the habit of taking like video of himself while he
Oh.
was making movies.
So he has stuff from all the way back when he was
So
young.
they have like
Well, we-
recordings of him learning how to do a tactical reload for the movie Heat.
I don't think so, but
What
I
a
just
strangely
watched.
specific.
I know, right? I
It's
just
like
showed
a thing that
Amron.
people talk about. They're like,
We
"Dude,
just watched-
Val Kilmer's the only person that ever reloaded a weapon the right way, and like a movie.
Wow, I really never cared about that. I just showed me and Amber just watched Heat actually.
What were you just talking about? I'm gonna shit
Yeah.
on that.
Well, no. I'm not about to talk about Ben. I'm not shitting on Ben. Sorry, Ben. I'm shitting on you this time. I just think that's funny that's like who I don't think people should get caught up in stuff like that. I hate when people get caught up in stuff like that. Who gives a
Mhm.
shit?
Yeah,
You know, what I mean? It's a movie. That doesn't everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be spot on. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know, I think I remember this friend of mine. He hated Backdraft because he was a fireman, and I'm like, oh, fire doesn't do that. It's a movie, gonad. It's just not real. You know, it's like if they made a movie about electricians, which they never would. I'm gonna get mad because it didn't fit exactly how
I feel
electricians.
like
you know,
I feel like you might though, just because of the uncanny valleyness of some stuff. Because like I think that's the thing that irks people is they can't help it when they know something intimately, and then people who are obviously not ever going to be intimate with that make a movie.
yeah, I will agree with you a little bit. Yeah, because Urban Cowboy, which I love,
Terrible.
they
funny
work at a
movie.
refinery. Him and his buddies work at a refinery, and they're insulated. And so, yeah, me and my friends, we still love the movie though. It didn't keep us from enjoying it though. Like this will, I've noticed people keep. I love the movie, but we will sit there and talk about how ridiculous the stuff that happens at the refinery that would never happen at a refinery happens. Like when his uncle dies, there's no way a refinery guy would send an insulator up to the top of a tank with a bunch of sample bottles. There's no way in a million years to go die and get struck by lightning. But anyways, but it doesn't keep me from enjoying the movie. You know, where this guy
Mhm.
hated Backdraft because it wasn't accurate. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
think hating something is a little strong, especially because like you got to think about how many medical staff there are out there and how
Yeah.
many medical movies and TV dramas and everything there are. And like
Mhm.
there's medicine is one of the most complicated professions on the planet. Like there's no way that any movie is ever going to get everything 100% right.
Right.
So like it would just mean that like doctors and nurses just didn't get to enjoy like a significant portion of content.
and
Well-
and I don't think it should because reality is really boring. You know, just turn on a video camera in the corner of the room and of your life, and then watch it later and see how great your life isn't. And it's the same thing. You know, cool beats real all
I
day
just
long.
watch these episodes again.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But cool beats real all day long, even if it's not accurate, right? They do it all the time.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's a perceived thing between. I think there's a nuance difference here. Like, there's one thing to make something cool for the movie and like entertaining, and there's another thing to like have just said something wrong that was supposed to be medical dialogue, anyways, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think
That's a
that,
good point.
Like, one is like, oh come on, like seriously, it's obviously not fucking lupus, is like what the medical guy would say. Versus
yeah.
like, yeah, but like, of course they're gonna do the to like bring the guy back to life because like that's fucking
fun.
the guy
The
needs to live.
Yeah.
Right,
And sometimes it's really cool though, like when they do nail stuff so accurately, or people really go out of their way to make stuff look as real as they can. It does make the movie more enjoyable sometimes. Like when that footage came out of Keanu Reeves doing like the three gun
That's very
runs
impressive.
at
Yeah.
Terran Tactical, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this dude is super legit. When you watch
I-
John Wick and you see him do those
Yeah.
3-gun moves, it makes it way cooler because I've like you can really do this for real, and that's pretty awesome. So sometimes it's nice to enjoy the accuracy of stuff.
I mean, it's like the Jaws shark doesn't look like a real shark. Who cares?
Oh,
It doesn't take, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I can, or like even in God, what the hell's it called? The Dallas Buyers Club, when he gets blown up in that disconnect at the beginning of the movie, it was totally ridiculous. All that stuff that happened, but it didn't. The movie's still great because he plays an electrician in that film, and how he gets blown up is totally ridiculous. I'm like, this would never. This is not how it works. It's not how electricity works. But I didn't care. It didn't.
Right.
It didn't make the film. It didn't. I wasn't like, this movie sucks. It's not real. I'm done. Which is what a lot of people do.
Right.
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think
It's
that
not accurate.
mentality is ridiculous, but I do think the uncontrollable like what
Yeah.
like that response is not the response they were going for everybody else, but like you just happen to have intimate knowledge of this thing that like a bunch of fucking writers and actors are not going to be able to correct while they're making a piece of art. Like they don't fucking know that shit. There's no way.
Well,
Right.
I think a lot of times too is like you're not making the stuff for the people in the trade, or you'd never, or you're not making it for actors. You're not making it for directors. You never make anything.
Yeah, you're just
It
trying
was
to
like
tell a story. Yeah.
It's the old joke. How many guitarists would take this screw in a light bulb? 1 to screw in the light bulb, and 6 to stand there and say, oh, I could do that. You're not playing for those guys.
Right.
Because if you're worried about what the other guitarists and the artists are thinking, you are never going to play well. And it's the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. Can't worry about that shit. The people that are really in the business are going to. But again, like I said, I've seen stuff, and it doesn't ruin the film for me. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're talking. I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
about
that what we're
time.
talking about?
For instance, I can travel through time, and it's nothing like getting in the closet and squeezing your fists.
See.
It's just,
Right.
It's ridiculous.
but
Yeah.
I still watch the whole movie.
I call it
I've been-
sleeping myself,
There you go.
and I'm not clenching my fists.
I'm only able to travel forward through time.
Yeah.
It's very.
Sometimes I do it when I'm driving to work and I wake up and I'm at work.
Oh, dude, right? How
Mhm.
great is that? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got here. Woo!
Oh, thank God. That was a close one.
Yeah. Wow. I can't remember how I got here.
Yeah, oh, great.
We did it.
How far away is your work?
That's 30 minutes.
You're all 9 hours.
Yeah.
That's
That's
cool.
a 9-hour walk.
Ugh.
That's a bit lengthy. It
Um,
actually is a 9-hour walk. I've done the
I bet it
math.
would be. Yeah.
Oh, I'm bleeding. Fun.
What? Why? You're
I
time
have
the
a
month?
hangnail.
Oh.
Messing with it. So there you go.
Nice. Well,
The
was it.
manliest way
I've had
to
a
bleed.
hangnail before.
I don't
that's
think we
not how to
talked
bleed.
about this movie all that much, but I
Yeah,
really like it.
I think we talked about it enough.
Yeah,
I-
I really like it. We didn't go
I
through
thought
the
it was good.
detail. We didn't walk through the details of the story. I'm a big sucker for romantic movies. I'm a big sucker for romantic comedies like this, not the silly, funny ones. Like Made in Manhattan and dumb shit like that, or what's the other one that's dumb too that everyone loves? Pretty Woman. I don't like shit like that.
Yeah. What's up with everyone liking Pretty Woman?
I don't know. It's not a great
It's not
film.
that great.
It's really not
No.
that great, man.
Yeah.
But everyone loves it, and I
Mhm.
don't see it. So
If it were placed at a racetrack and they could still have Julia Roberts, that would make sense. because then she
Mm.
could win the Kentucky Derby, and then Richard Gere would be like betting on her and
Are
going.
you saying
Yeah.
she's got a horse
"Alright."
face?
Yeah, she'd be opposite of Sarah Jessica Parker.
Are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating nothing.
He's speaking
We're just
facts.
observing.
I'm spitting
Yeah.
those facts.
Mhm.
She has a horse. I thought she had a mouth face. I didn't know she had a horse face
She looks pretty
Which-
horsey to me.
which-
because she's
lead
all
actress
mouth
are we
and no
talking about?
face. Julia
Oh.
Roberts is all mouth
Julia
and no face.
Roberts.
Okay, so
She
maybe
does
she's
have quite a lot of
crocodile
mouth.
face, but
She has mouth face.
There's a lot of mouth.
Mouth face.
she got some kind of animal face.
Human.
And a face.
Nobody loves her, so I guess we're all wrong. So
Yep, we're wrong.
You know, there's a lot of things that people like that I think are bad.
yep,
so.
yep, we're wrong. She's no Rachel McAdams in this movie with her fringe.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
You know who was supposed to be was Zoe Deschanel.
Ah, the other
know,
perfect
right?
woman.
The other
Oh.
perfect.
Zoe Deschanel would have been
Man,
just
yeah,
as
she
good in
would've
this
been
movie.
Fantastic.
I
That
would like
would've
to
been-
suggest that Anne Hathaway could have also done this role just fine.
Oof.
That's because Anne Hathaway is a fantastic actress, though.
She is.
She's also really pretty in this
Just
exact
ask
same
her.
way.
She's
Huh.
pretty and kind of a Douglas. She's not
What's
like
the-
a she's not I don't know what do you call it. She's kind of unique looking because of big schnoz or whatever, but it totally works for her. She's
Anne
yeah,
Hathaway?
she's very pretty.
I don't ever think of Anne Hathaway as having a large
Yeah,
nose.
she has
She's just
big
like
eyes.
there. Somebody said a phrase once that really stuck with me, and it's that there are some actresses that are just like the prettiest girl at the mall. Like they're not amazing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're not like drop dead gorgeous or anything like that, but they're still the prettiest girl at the mall. So like that is like the kind of pretty that we all think for whatever reason in movies is like the attainable one. Like Rachel McAdams would easily be the prettiest girl at the mall. Like there's no question about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
went
yeah.
to the mall, like you're like, yeah, she's obviously the prettiest person here. And so like, and she is the one that's the attainable girl in this movie. So I
Yeah, they
think
make her
those are
little
the
they make her a little
classifications.
quirky. You know, they put glasses on her.
That's like
Which-
that Flight of the Conchords song.
They do what
Prettiest
they
Girl,
can.
or most beautiful girl in the room.
Oh, most beautiful girl in
Yeah.
the room. Yeah.
You're the most beautiful girl in the room. You're the most beautiful girl in the street, depending on the street. You're definitely
Yeah, exactly.
definitely in the top 3 good-looking girls on the street. She could be a part-time model, but she'd still have to keep her normal job.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking. This is the
Attainable,
take
you
that
know?
I have.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah,
I'm just
so-
saying, Rachel McAdams is this. She looks great in the Notebook, but in this, she's quirky, which
Mhm.
is one of my favorite things about girls if they are quirky,
Well, it's the
like
man.
Zoe
yeah.
Deschanel. So no, she in this she's like the perfect woman, hands down. Like I said, I would take over Margot Robbie any day.
Oh,
Yeah,
one
I
thing
would
do
take
wanna
her
talk
over-
about-
Margot Robbie
ahead.
in this movie any day.
And Margot Robbie is amazingly hot, and she's great in this, but you know,
One
She
thing I
doesn't
did
have
want
much
to
of a
say
personality
about
that's
the movie.
exposed.
So
Go
about
ahead,
the
David.
movie. So they have that setup that I hate in all these romantic movies, where the setup is like, oh my god, I can finally get with the hot girl, and then they get
Oh.
with the hot girl, and then they spend the entire rest of the movie trying to get the one they're actually in love with back. They dance
Oh,
with that
because-
for a very quick second, but I like how they
They
turn
just
it on its
dance.
head.
yeah.
Yeah, but when she invites him back into her apartment, after bumping into him again, and I like how he like tries to talk to her and fucks up all the times. He's just like, by the time he's like, he goes back for the last one, he's just like, probably just best to leave it alone. Let's leave. And they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she invites him back into the apartment, and he says, "I have to go do something very important right now," and immediately runs home and proposes to Rachel McAdams. I thought that was a great turnaround because I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
this is
absolutely.
gonna
I
be a
thought
part."
that's
where he
the
fucks
cute
up.
scene, right?
It would have
Yeah.
ruined the
Like,
movie for me if he
absolutely.
banged her. Would
Absolutely.
have ruined the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with this.
So-
It would have ruined the movie, but I think there's also an implication that like most people probably would have slept with her and then just gone back in time and been like,
That's-
"Yeah, it never happened."
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking either that was gonna happen, or like he lost. his
Okay, maybe
power
not
to a
ruin the
difference or
movie, but
something.
just change the dynamic.
I think
put
it
it
would
that
have
way.
ruined the movie
'Cause that would have
because
been
I'm so
interest-
over that. I'm so over that writing trope. It's
That would have been
so
an,
boring.
yeah. I think that would have been an interesting thing to happen if he banged her and then gone back in time and sort of undone it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
would have
don't.
been
I don't
interesting.
really think that reflects his character as
Yeah,
it's been-
That's
Yeah.
not his
Portrayed to
character.
us.
So-
exactly. It wouldn't have
So-
fit his character.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
you're
would
right.
that would have reflected many characters that we've seen in other films. It's just that in this particular case,
Yeah.
again, I don't think his character is ever particularly extreme.
Mhm.
I mean, before Ben was asking why he didn't abuse it, and I said, I don't think that this character is is about extremes, and he's about learning things from his dad and his experiences and so forth. And so I think when he realizes that it's not love, and that's what he's using all this for, he goes back to Rachel McAdams. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Go ahead, Ben.
he's totally a like it just made it click for me, but he's totally a fucking slice of life anime protagonist. Like there's a trope in anime where like there's a protagonist in like slice of life, and the guy is just like the perfect dude, and he like happens into a bunch of awkward things because he's like a little bit awkward, but otherwise he's got like a heart of gold. And this character is literally that. Like he would never actually do anything bad ever. And that's why I think he probably gets away with the weird stalker behavior and stuff. Is
Yeah.
because we can tell that he as a character, since we intimately know him and we're listening him talk to us because he's got a fucking voiceover, that like he is legitimately like earnest in everything that he does and has a heart of gold, and he's like really pure. Which is probably why people really like the character in the first place. It's probably why, I mean, I think I like him because I know that he would do no evil. But just in terms of like whether or not that's a realistic standard.
Well,
very
I think they're smart when they do when they make characters like this character, because this is what some of us wish we were. You know what I mean? Which was
yeah.
a pure character.
Mhm.
So it was like it was my problem with this show. God, I can't remember what the hell it was called now. It had some guy from Gossip Girl, and he was stalking some chick and then killing people that, God, what the fuck was it
You?
called? You, I think it was called You.
Mhm.
And I couldn't watch the show after about a few episodes because the main girl was not pure. And so I just couldn't do it. I tried watching the show, and it was my problem with the show is the main girl was gross. She was not a good person. She was not worth stalking or killing people for. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because she wasn't pure. Your main character has to be that. I don't care if it's realistic or not.
like that, but it
I
can't
don't
be
care if
the
it's
girl.
realistic or not.
Yeah.
Like it's probably not realistic that Donald Gleason character is this perfect, pure, nerdy kind of.
Never gives into temptation. Is
yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, that's
probably
why
not
it's
accurate.
It's a rom-drum, right? And like I think that there's
Yeah.
a lot of girls that self-insert into Rachel McAdams thinking like, gosh, I just need to find the guy.
This
that
guy.
even when
Yeah.
presented his dream girl on a silver platter still chooses me. Like there's
And I think we all would like
very
to think
romantic about
That we're that guy.
that we're that guy.
Yeah. No.
But
it's
nobody's
totally-
that guy.
I
You
mean,
know?
it's interesting because I mean, he does have a lot of faults, but I really liked watching a character that, like Doug was saying, actually like learned along with you, and didn't just go out and make a shit ton of mistakes and have to apologize for him later or renege upon him later.
Yes.
So I really
Yeah.
like that about this movie is like you're learning with the character and he's making intelligent decisions for the most part, like in maybe the second half of the movie, and he's just trying to find another way to get through life. So
Yeah.
It's so
I
man,
like
it's
that
so
part of it.
funny because my experience with this character in general is actually the complete opposite because of how much exposure there is in like anime, which I watch a lot of, that I'm just like so sick of the like perfect character. I think that's why I like a lot of the movies that we've seen where like the characters aren't very good and I'm like, oh, they're like all fucked up. That's interesting to me because I've seen the pure character a million times in like my main form of
Yeah.
entertainment.
yeah.
This
I think it
movie,
depends on the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
depends on
think
the film, but this is the kind of movie that is supposed to be a feel good, not take
Yeah.
itself too seriously, not too heavy on the drama, light, like
enough
a diet.
drama that you care about the characters. But yeah, because
Mhm.
I totally hear I totally hear what you're saying, Ben. But I think this style of film, anything else would have done a
Oh yeah,
disservice
it
to
wouldn't
the
have
film.
been
Would have
that
ruined it.
style of film if they had chosen
Yeah.
to make the character anything else.
Exactly.
But yeah, and honestly, like, funny enough, in this movie, the hardest parts for me were actually the cringe moments where he was being like awkward
Same.
and talking. I was just
We've
like,
all been there.
dude, I literally had to like pull up Instagram when he was talking to her at the fucking at the museum. I was like, I cannot
Especially
watch
when
you
he-
struggle
Yeah.
through this.
Especially went back the second time.
Oh my god, the
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
I
white
was the
knuckled
same
through
way.
that one for sure.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
the
it's
same way. I
painful.
had to pull up my
It's
phone.
painful to watch.
Oh, it was so terrible. I literally like was like squeezing my pillow, like just I can't fucking do this movie.
Did you practice kissing it too?
I did, and then somebody walked in on me, and
Pra-
I was
pra-
like, "Oh, this is even more cringeworthy." And then I got back to the movie.
You were getting your mail at the time when you were practice kissing your pillow, so it was very weird.
Yeah, from the postal force.
Postal Force.
Well, the royal post, or whatever
Royal-
the fuck
Royal
I'm getting my
Post.
shit from.
Postal force.
God
I
dang.
turned into Michael Caine there
The
for a
British
second.
realm.
There you
Right.
go.
Well, are
yeah.
we ready for?
I think we're ready for ratings. I'm going first.
Sure.
Alright.
Okay. Fucking do it.
I give this movie a hard 7,
Yeah.
Har-
Okay.
maybe even a light
Firm
8,
7.
hard 7, light 8,
Mm.
because I love romance and I love time travel. My 2 favorite things.
Thoughts?
That's it. That's all I got. And Rachel McAdams being the perfect manic Tripsy Bika, the manic Tripsy. What's that called? Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Don't hurt yourself.
Dream Girl.
Manic
Yeah.
Tripsy
Oh.
Biha.
The manic pixie dream, huh? What I said.
Exactly. Makes perfect sense.
That's all I got.
All right, I'll give my rating. I would give this movie 7 or an 8. Yeah. It's good. It's feel good. It's nice. You don't really have to think hard about it. Obviously, we're talking for an hour and a half, so it's fun to
30 minutes. is the
dig
movie.
around in the movie itself. But like at the end of the day, like this is not a movie that you think very hard about. You throw it on, you have a good time with the characters, and then you kind of learn a lesson that you probably already know, and then you go on with the rest of your life, and you feel better. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with mine. I'd probably give this like a straight up 7. I thought this movie was a little too lifey for me. I didn't
What
know
does
it was
that
gonna
mean?
follow basically a large portion of his life. Yeah,
His whole
it
lifespan, yeah.
followed a lot of his life. But yeah, it didn't blow me out of the water or anything like that. I didn't think it was like groundbreaking. There are a lot of things that I liked that they did with it to stay away from tropey romantic comedy tropes. So yeah, I liked it for that. So,
Oh.
7.
Yeah, I felt the same. I felt the same way. It was kind of watching this movie was like enjoying a nice cold beverage of something that you've had before.
Ooh,
It was
like a nice
it.
summer
I know what I'm
beer.
getting here.
When
like
they
a
had
nice
it out of
summer
season
shandy.
Yeah, like it's been out of season, but it's
know?
back in season.
It's back in
Okay.
season. You're having it again. You're like,
Ah.
Nice.
It's not mind blowing. I've certainly had something like this before, but it's good.
Mm.
That's like this movie. It's real good.
it's comfort
Smooth.
beverage.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a comfort.
mm.
It's a comfort beverage movie. That's what it is. It's a
Interesting.
comfort beverage movie. It was, and what I really liked is that even though it was a lot of what I was expecting, there was a few things that they did, like Dana just said, that made it so it wasn't so predictable. Some of these movies take too hard of a left turn into the drama.
Mhm.
They didn't do that. Some of
Like
these
Click.
movies. Yes. Yeah, Click is a good
Gets
example of that. What
Very
the fuck
serious,
is Click?
very quickly. Yeah.
What?
I've never seen Click.
It's terrible.
Oh,
Adam,
whoa,
Adam
I like
Sandler, Kate Beckinsale, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
his- I
Click
think
is
it's
a
his
great
best
example of
movie.
what I'm talking about.
It's his best movie.
You think that's
It's
his
a bad
best movie? Adam
I think it's his
Sandler?
best movie.
That's
and it's still a
definitely
bad
not
movie.
his best movie.
I don't
Adam
like Adam
Sandler's best
Sandler.
movie? Why do you
I
talk-
No.
don't like Adam Sandler.
No.
His
Yeah,
best
Adam
movie
Sandler
is
has
Wedding
been-
Singer.
Wedding Singer
Yeah,
is
there's
very
the
good.
Wayne Singer.
What's the Punch Drunk Love is very good.
It's fantastic. That is a great movie.
That's a good one.
But Danon also
Happy
doesn't like
Gilmore.
Lincoln Park. So
Adam
That's
but
Sandler.
I
also
was,
crazy.
I'm
Linkin Park.
actually, I'm on board.
A-
with
Aaron-
Danon and
Aaron
not
laughed in
liking
her
things that
bedroom.
people like.
when I said that. so really quickly, Dana's always said, Lincoln Park, that guy's got fake angst.
Yeah, it's fake angst.
And then he, killed himself. And then I go, Dana, what now? What do you think about the fake angst? He says, it's fake. But the guy killed himself.
It is
Dexter
it is
Holland or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Chester
it is
Copperfield.
Chester Bennington.
a hot
Chester
take
Bennington.
to say that Dexter Holland had fake angst.
Or
That is some
Chester.
pretty
yeah.
real.
Chester
Or Chester,
Copperpot.
yeah.
Holland, yeah.
Chester.
Dexter
Chester
Holland is from
Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot
Chester
is from
Copperpot.
The Goonies.
What
That's
are
the
you
guy
talking
who
about?
gets crushed by the
His
booby
name is
traps.
Chester. I
Booby
can't
traps,
remember.
that's what I said.
Ben's Jeremy said it. Chester
Bennington.
Bennington.
Bennington,
Bennington.
I said the other guy, and that's from
Dexter Holland.
he's from fuck band.
Offspring?
Never seen that.
Offspring. He's from the Offspring.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh.
But anyways,
But-
Jeremy, what's your rating?
Yeah, sorry.
You didn't-
Oh, my rating. Oh yeah. So I would also give it a no jiggle 7. No jig Seb.
No jig Seb.
Very nice.
Not
as,
even like
as,
a
as we say in the biz.
Oh,
A solid 7. Is that why you got promoted? This is the kind
yeah,
of shit
you're
that
no
we
jiggle
need.
7.
I know the
This is why you're
terminology. Yeah,
director.
the
This
no
is
Yeah,
why
yeah.
you're assistant director.
Yeah.
This is it. The terminology.
And not assistant to the assistant manager.
Yeah.
That's right. Moved up one.
Got rid of the articles. Doug?
I liked it. I would definitely want Bill Nighy to be my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's again, it's quirky. We've seen it before. I like the simplified time travel element. Nothing was explained. It's just this is how it works, and all the characters were on board, which helped me believe it and be okay with it. Did he do what he could have? No, but that's at least part of the point. You know, there were some problems with it, but by and large, I enjoyed it. I'll give it an 8, but with a little jiggle.
Okay.
The jiggly
The seldom seen Jiggly 8.
The Jiggly 8.
Yeah.
The rare and elusive Jiggly 8.
Isn't that a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jiggly 8. Yeah.
I'd probably go
Jiggly
watch
Eight.
that before the Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
What was yours, Ben? A light 9?
I said 7 or 8. I actually didn't get fun with
No,
it
no, not for this
time.
movie. That's what you came up with. The light
Yeah,
9.
Light 9.
Yeah.
The light 9. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I always
Ages ago.
say a strong 8 to light 9.
Yeah,
or-
yeah, yeah.
Or insert numbers.
Light 9.
Yeah, somewhere between these two numbers. I'm not sure where. Yeah.
A light 9.
That is
That's
the
great.
Original meme.
That's from the original Loose Boot Ben.
Loose
Was it
Boot
really
Ben.
that long ago?
Yes.
I thought that started on this podcast.
I thought that was this podcast. Yeah, that was
No, that
Light
was-
9 was this podcast.
Light 9 was this podcast. Loose Boot Ben was the last one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right, Daryl.
That was
Yeah,
anything
Loose
but
Boot
Star
Ben
Wars.
was in Anything But Star Wars.
Yeah,
Is,
yeah.
are the-
That's-
is Anything But Star Wars still on YouTube? Like, is
Yeah.
it still around?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's up
So
there.
there.
shit, man.
Mhm.
Damn.
Oh, it's
not a
so-
lot
so
of
good. It's
episodes.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We
only a handful of them.
we
Got
were
a
getting
few.
comments on our The Last Jedi one for a long time, like
Yeah.
years afterwards.
The one time that I just chose to take a stand, I don't even like The Last Jedi. It's so funny. Can I issue a retraction on this podcast for my
Sure.
opinions on
No.
Last Jedi?
You cannot.
I don't like Last
I don't
Jedi.
believe you.
Clench your
That much.
fists.
Yeah.
Clench your fists, and you
That
can't.
was actually what I was thinking of when I was talking about going back in time to change things. Was just
That
going to
one.
have
Wow,
a different
that-
opinion about Last Jedi.
That was the hill you were going to die on.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention that because I remember you not being particularly committed to your love for the Last Jedi the way, you know, because you get a passion on this one, you yell and scream and stuff, but on the Last Jedi you didn't. You know what I mean? So
I tried
see-
to
I
be
hear what you're saying.
measured, and I still got dude. Some of the meanest things that have ever been said about me or to me are in the comments on that video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. They shredded you.
Jeez.
It was
And you
And
were
people have said some pretty mean things to me before, and I still read those comments anytime I need to like knock my hubris down. a little, you know?
yeah, whenever you're about ready to take over the world again, you just go read those comments. Like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe not.
This guy in the
Yeah.
pink sweatshirt is the biggest piece of shit I've
Yeah.
ever fucking seen in my life.
And
I'd
what's funny
rather
'cause-
fucking hang out with Hitler.
Yeah, I know, right? And you weren't even. Did someone actually say that?
I
You
don't
were-
know.
Well, I
you
did,
weren't-
but
Oh, that was, yeah, that was
Place
like,
on it.
Damn it, Doug.
again, like
My
I don't remember you
alias.
being super committed to your love for it. You know what I mean? It did. Going back now, you were devil's advocating it more,
Absolutely. I
advocating
think
it.
that's what he said
more
when he
than
came
you
on.
were.
He's like, someone's
Yeah.
got to be on the side of the thing because we can't just rip
Yeah.
it to
Yeah,
shreds.
and I was
So,
more on the side of it too.
Yeah, I think it
I
was
was
yeah, you were there too.
open-minded to a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I do
Um,
remember Jeremy. You had my back a little bit.
Yeah, you guys
You
did
just weren't
definitely
wearing
hate
a
it.
hot pink sweater, which is like
I
a
wasn't.
target,
That's your
yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
No,
that hot
you were
pink
too
sweater.
easy of a
Don't
target 'cause you
defend
just,
the
like,
Last Jedi whilst wearing a hot
Bright
pink
clothing.
sweater.
Yeah.
That is the.
that's day one
Recipe
stuff.
for disaster.
go.
Day
And on that
one.
note,
Yeah.
thank you for that proverb. So what should we do our next movie on? Should we stay with like the rom-com drum with the Zom kind of thing that we're doing, or should we go through?
I
Stooges
want to
and
do
Ego?
Mr. Nobody. Let's try.
Let's do Mr. Nobody because I've never seen
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
you've
that's
been
what we
recommending
do.
it forever. so-
Fantastic movie. It was one
And
of those
if it-
movies. Yeah, it's one of those movies that it hit me in the same way that her did. I watched it at like 1 a.m. because it was something to put on, and I stayed up and
Did
watched
you
the
really?
entire movie. Yeah, and it was
That's a
definitely
long
worth my-
movie.
It's a pretty long movie. It's like it's
One in
definitely over
the
2
morning.
hours. but it's great. It's got some really it's beautifully shot. The color palette is fantastic. It really
Yeah, it's
plays
well.
into the themes of the movie. So yeah, it's a really good movie.
Hmm.
And I've gone back and watched it at least once a year, and it still holds up. Very weird. There's definitely some surreal parts to it, which I kind of liked. But yeah, it's cool.
I can
So-
see in Daryl's eyes that he's like, I can't wait to hate this.
I can't wait.
No, I
No,
don't know
think
anything
he's
about
gonna
it.
hate this.
Can't wait for the hate.
Yeah,
I
if
tried,
it's a rom-com, I think he's in.
I
I've noticed
tried
that about
watching
him.
it a long time ago when Dana recommended it for the first 30 times, and I couldn't stay awake for it. I just was watching it at the wrong time.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it is.
I can't
definitely a
watch it.
slower movie, but
It's 7 o'clock at night, and I can't watch it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it was one of those times. So those are my one's my nap time, and one's my really tired part of the evening time, which is 7 o'clock.
Wait a second.
Unless we're doing something like this, and I can power through it. You
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
All right, well,
But if I'm just sitting on the couch at 7 p.m., please.
man,
It's on logs, bro.
Please.
I'm out.
Uh,
I went
Alright.
Monday. What's today? Tuesday.
mhm.
So it wasn't. Maybe it was last week or something. I don't know. I just came home and went straight. I was sitting on the couch at 6:30. I'm like, well, I'm going to bed. So
I did that. I did that yesterday. I came
Really?
home and I was actually feeling pretty good. I was like, oh, I can be productive. And then I sat down and I was like, I don't think I can be productive anymore.
yeah, exactly.
bed.
They were at the productivity.
Mhm. And then I woke up at 1 a.m. and then watched this movie. And I made
Oh,
some grilled
nice.
cheese. Yeah, it was great. And I went back to bed.
That's
around
awesome.
Made grilled
4
cheese.
4 a.m. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
wrong.
Very lethargic. Lethargic.
Cathartic?
Cathartic. That's it.
Yeah.
I was
You were a little-
lethargic. I was
And then-
lethargic
but
and
it was
feeling
cathartic.
cathartic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
All right, cool. About time.
About time.
That was
about-
it.
It's about time we got to
Oh,
the
I get it.
end of
this
podcast.
Danon, roll credits.
It's also about time that you subscribe to the podcast. I'm looking at you people. So you can subscribe down below, and then our Discord is down in the description. You can join us and get the next movie since I've actually been posting it at the appropriate time. I'll fucking post it right now. I'll
Yeah.
post it right now. I'll post
That
the next
would be
movie
the
right now.
inappropriate time.
This is
This
it's
is
only
prime
inappropriate
time.
if I'm completely naked.
Our watchers are currently getting posted on.
All over on.
That's
Po-
gross.
Getting posted all over their faces.
Yeah, there's a postal
That's-
force right here.
There's the postal force.
From
From the Royal Mail.
Mr. Nobody. Look at it, I'm doing it right now. You can also follow us on Instagram at WLT Podcast. I wish I could do two things at once. I don't know when this movie came out, so I'm just gonna go
2013.
exclamation point.
2009.
2009.
2009.
I already put the
That was
question mark. on
9. Wow.
there. I
It's like
posted
a
it.
billion years ago.
So yeah, you
Wow,
can follow us on Instagram WLT Podcast, so you can keep up to date on the random shit that we post there. And we are back every Tuesday at usually at 7:30, unless we're running late. So there you go. There you go.
All right.
And here we go. Goodbye.
I love
Goodbye,
you.
y'all. Thank you.
I love you.
Brennan. I can tell you what to do, Brennan. You can't talk back because I'm ending the stream right now. Just
Yeah.
continue.
Stream
Welcome
this.
to Costco. I love you.
I'm gonna leave, and love you.
Ernie.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Oops, I ended the. That was just me talking to myself because I ended.